Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the stream. How are you all doing out there? Let me know if the audio's all good, guys. Can you hear me? Is the stream running okay? Hopefully everybody had a good weekend, guys. And ready for the weekend, man. Ready for the weekend. Give me a second here, and then we'll get things started. Where are we? Let's move that out of the way. You can hear me all good? Sweet. Give us a second here. Let me move that over. Let's get rid of some of these tabs that I've got open here because I've got far too many open. I've started up an Insane campaign as well, guys. You know the deal. If you want to get yourself a little bit of free crypto, you can do by popping in the codes on the app that pops up on stream. Gizmo. Yo, what's going on, British Gamer? How's it going, dude? What's going on, Rain? Welcome. Alright then. So, today's the day, guys, for Ada. We're going to be seeing the Merry HardFork happening. Give me a second here as well. Let me just, I've got so many tabs open that I don't need open on both PCs. Like, dude, what the hell? So, we'll have a little look at the charts again today. Give some ideas of what we think is the next move. Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit of Bitcoin. We're going to talk a little bit about Ethereum as well. And of course, we'll be talking about ADA, and we'll be having a little look at some of the other charts as well, guys. I'll be live till around about 4 today. So I do apologise about being a little bit late, but I'm going to try and get on this on a bit more of a schedule now with these streams and actually knock out some crypto content, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. That's the plan. I'm going to kick things off with a question. You're going to buy stock in Ultra and Apple with both of them making big moves in a few years to come. Well, I don't really invest in stocks, but I am going to be, once the bear market kicks in crypto, I will be moving a bit of my cash over into stocks to start messing with stocks a little bit. I probably will go in with Apple. I'll probably get some Google stocks. I'll be probably looking at quite a few tech stocks actually to go into, because I do think there's going to be big moves for quite a few of the tech stocks over the coming years. So I probably will dabble with Apple because Apple is the big boy. And yeah, I'm probably going to spend the next few months actually starting to nerd up a little bit, like, you know what I mean, swat up a little bit more on the stocks, because I don't really dabble with stocks at all. I'm more of a crypto guy, so I need to start doing some research, which I'll be doing throughout the year actually, because like I say, once the bear market kicks in, that's where I'll be moving a bunch of my cash over, and I'll be trading the stocks for a while things are quiet on the crypto side of things. Yeah, I heard about that actually. Dude, that little, like, it's like a small city, yeah. That one that the building, actually kind of cool. I saw that on Twitter the other day, actually. All right, let me just get the door shut.
To find out more, gov.uk/back-to-school.
All right then, let's where are we? All right, let's get this thing started then, guys. Let's move Spotify out of the way. I need to clean up my charts, man. I am deep in with my charts. We can do some fresh charting though today, man. Have a little look, a little reset. But yo, how is everybody doing though, guys? Are you all good, are ya? Did you have a good weekend? Hopefully you've been getting them tendies. We are still quite deep into the correction phase at the moment with Bitcoin. We are having that little bit of a bounce at the minute. Pushing up just over 48k at the moment. We're kind of in a little an important area at the minute. If we can break through that, we might see some side between 50 to 55k possibly. I think we are going to come back down a little bit. I still do think 40 to 42k is very likely. It still is, but we are getting a nice strong surge at the moment, which is good. Let's get switched over then. So that's good to see. Do you know what I need to do? Let me get rid of this and let's switch to my other monitor setup, shall we? So we can get me first monitor, shall we? Give us a second here. Duplicate. Yarp. That's what we want. All right, Windows. What are you doing? Stop being slow. All right then. So we'll do some fresh. We got a 50k retest it to where we're at now. I think we're going to see anywhere up to possibly a run up to 55k personally, but it just depends at the minute. It depends on how much volume we get out of this bounce, which at the minute volume's not terrible, but it depends if we can break through this area for me. This is an important area. If we can break through this, we're going to see a push for 50k plus, but. We are seeming to run aground a little bit at the minute. We are getting into a little bit overbought as well. Buying pressure is waning off on the histogram as well. The one good thing though for upward pressure here is we obviously broke out to this descending wedge here, and we've now broke into an ascending wedge, but which are typically, bearish, but we are in a bull run, but we've come out of a downward move, but we have broke to the upside here, which is good, and we are actually at the minute currently getting a little bit of support, testing a bit of a support there, but we do have some sell pressure. Like I say, looking at the MACD on the histogram as well, we do have buying pressure starting to wane a little bit, but it is still at a decent level. But man, it's been a nice bounce actually. Bitcoin took. We did push up to where I did expect us to reject, which we initially did, but then just played straight through. So that was nice to see. So strong movements, man. It's good to see. The bulls are definitely fighting back, which is what we want. It's showing that there is plenty of buying appetite out there at the moment, which I'm pretty sure most people really knew that's the case, you know what I'm saying? Rosie, thank you for the love over on Twitter. Ryan, thank you for the love over on Twitter as well. We definitely are entering the future, dude. We are, especially in the financial services. The future's like, it's right here, man. We just need it to be adopted now globally. But yeah, things pretty much looking as expected for Bitcoin. It was pretty much expected we was going to break out of this descending wedge here, which we have done. Like I say, if we can break through this little quagmire of resistance here, we can see anywhere between 50 to 55 for me personally. I don't think we're going to go for a retest of the previous high just yet. I do still think we've got some consolidating to do so far, or coming in the future, should I say. And that's just down to, I think, what was it, 17 days? Around, it was nearly around about pushing towards a month that it took for the last consolidation. We're only, like 9 days into this consolidation, 10 days. So unless we're having a bit of a quicker bounce out of it, which is entirely possible, I do still think we've got a little bit more to come. So we'll see how things go for the rest of the day on Bitcoin. But we are definitely seeing some drop in the buying pressure there. So yeah, we'll see as the day passes what happens with the biddies. If we do get some decent, I did plan to put in a long yesterday, and I wish I had done now. I kind of been trying to tell myself I'm not going to trade on the weekend so much, because it's typically low volume, especially with futures contracts being reset and the volatility that we've been in, especially over the last week. I was like, you know what, I'm not going to trade, when I really should have traded the bounce on Bitcoin and Ethereum. To be fair, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be good, but it would have played out. It would have been a nice little long there. It was what We had I would have entered here. This is where I was planning to enter, but I was like, no. So, you know, on a 5x there, we would have had a nice 25% trade, but I would have probably ended up trading that on 7. We had a nice little bounce on ETH as well. What's this bounce been? And 20% bounce on ETH. That's nice to see from ETH. I know it's expected because obviously Bitcoin's having a little bit of a bounce, but just lately, apart from the few times where it seems like it's gone on its own little run, ETH has really been following Bitcoin really closely over the last few weeks, hasn't it? And when we get a little bit of a push up from Bitcoin, ETH's been really lagging behind and really underperforming. But when we get a pull back, ETH's like, now's my time to shine. I'm gonna overperform on the pullback, which ETH did really get hit hard on this pullback with the entire market. ETH really got savaged, but having a strong bounce out at the moment. Some important levels coming up at $1,680. Whether we can make that push, not too sure. At the moment, volume's not looking terrible, actually. RSI is looking decent. MACD, at the minute, Ethereum's looking in a better position than Bitcoin is, to be fair. But let's have a look on a bit of a cleaner chart at the minute. So we're still trading within the daily range at the minute. On the daily, still flashing a sell signal for Ethereum. Sorry, flashing a sell signal. What was saying on the 4 hour? I think no, we still haven't flashed a buy signal on the 4 hour. We have obviously on the hourly. I have been just lately though, especially with Ethereum, tending to use the super trend along with some of my other indicators. It's becoming increasingly accurate, but it's more on heavy trends really. It's when it becomes to the ranges that it really doesn't trade very well. When you're getting significant trends occurring, the super trend really does play quite a nice role actually. So I've been using that a little bit more, but not great for trading ranges, like I say. Let's have a little look at BNB as well, because BNB has been bouncing quite strongly. I do still think we're going to see $400 to $500 personally off the Binance coin. I still think it's got plenty to do this run. I know a lot of people don't have issues with it because of it being Binance's token. It's a centralized smart chain as well. Binance Smart Chain is. But, you know, if you're here totally for the decentralization and all of that, the ideology that goes around that, totally understand that, and I can understand you're not liking the fundamentals of Binance Smart Chain, but at the same time, if you're on the investment side of things, guys, you know, at the end of the day, we're here to make money, aren't we? And it doesn't really necessarily matter personally for me if something doesn't really go in with the ethos of crypto in general. I'm here to make a bit of cash. I don't mind profiting off centralized assets, but I understand the issue when it comes to, like I say, the whole attitude behind crypto. But they have been killing it. Binance Smart Chain have. So yeah, man, I do definitely think we've got plenty of. So we've had a positive crossover on the MACD there on the 6 hourly. I don't even know why we're on the 6 hourly, but it's looking quite nice on the 6 hourly actually. We have broken this descending trend line now. We weren't really, you know, weren't we a descending triangle really with BNB really, but it's broke out. That's good to see. Finding a little bit of resistance at the $250 mark at the moment. But like I say, I think Bitcoin is running out of a little bit of steam at the minute. We're starting to get a little bit of a rejection there, which, like I say, kind of expected. We really do need to break through this area of resistance, and which we're really struggling to do at the minute. If we don't, I think we're going to see a pullback prior to that. But I do still think 50k and above is on the cards in the short term, possibly. But I do think we're definitely getting a rejection, and we're going to see some more potential downside. But at the moment, it's either or, man. It really is. But I do think we're still not done with the correction just yet. Oh, dude, right? Like, I always one that I do regret not getting into earlier as well. And it's not like lack of knowledge of it, like it was just a choice, and it's like one that actually I'm like, damn man, like, you know, there's that certain coins or assets that sometimes you're like, damn, I missed that one, that came out the blue, and it's like, you know, you can't really do much about that. But then there's ones that you choose to be like, nah, okay, I'm gonna leave that one, I'm not gonna worry about investing in that at the minute, and then the take off and you're like, fuck. But it happens, you can't win them all, can you? So yeah, like I say, mini Bitcoin, we're still trading in the ranges. I don't think we're going to see anything crazy. We're not going to see any runs to all-time highs. And like I say, for me, 40 to 42k is our bottom. We might dip a little bit below, maybe on the hour to fall hourly turn out to be a bit of a wick where we come down to 38k, possibly. I don't think we will though. I'm hoping, I do think we are gonna hold steadfast around the 40 to 42k, but obviously we'll see how things go. It depends on how hard we do get rejected off this attempted rally. But at the moment, it is a strong rally. It is nice to see. So we're definitely getting a good bounce at the moment. But like I say, I do foresee further downside, guys, price action wise. But it's nothing to worry about, man. Like, I've been seeing a lot of FUD the last few days on Twitter, and I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a new investor myself. I'm not one of these guys who's been around since freaking the 2015, 2013 days, who's been through multiple bull runs. But at the same time, even when you come into something new, if you take the time to research, guys, it really will make things like just so much better for you. Like, if you are new to this, guys, just take a few hours here and there, even if it's just an hour a day before you go to bed. Just sit down and just try and research as much as you can. Learn about the fundamentals, learn about the basics, just the basics of crypto, and you'll start to get what it's all about a little bit there. I still see so many people who are willing to throw lots of cash around with like lack of basic fundamentals. Now, Christ, like I say, I'm an idiot. I don't know half as much as what I really need to know. But at the same time, I'm proactive in going out of my way to learn as much as possible. But I'm seeing that some people just really aren't taking that time, and it will change the way how profitable you are, guys. It'll be night and day, and you'll thank yourself that if you just took a couple of weeks, a few hours a day, or an hour a day for a few weeks to really get a grasp of not just like just scratching the surface and delving a little bit deeper beyond the basics, and you'll be laughing, guys, man. You really should take the time to do that. Personally, it's one thing, you know, if you're investing on a spot buy and just grabbing something for the time being, by all means, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing that before you've done any real major research. But personally, I'd you know, take that little bit of extra time to see what the crack is, man. To see what the crack is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I say, Bitcoin not looking too shabby at all. Definitely looking a lot better today than we have been over the last couple of days. But like I say, ever since this pullback happened, well, prior to this pullback happening, when we were breaking through the 48k mark, I did say that I reckon between $55,000 to $60,000 is where we're going to have some sort of retracement. I said that possibly we would see it coming back to the previous high, which it's bullish, you know what I mean? It's still bullish. We're still doing a pretty bullish, well, very bullish move, guys. You know what I mean? We're very much doing the coming back to the. Obviously, that's a bit wonky, but you get the idea. We're stepping up, so that's good to see. So yeah, like I say, I expect we're not done just yet. So you know, the correction is going to continue for a little bit, guys. You just gotta try and hold steadfast. You know what I'm saying, and keep at it, man. Keep at it. But obviously, you know, if you want to take profits, you should always be taking profits, guys. Yeah, we're getting a rejection now. Like I say. Yeah, we got the histogram on the MACD showing there was quite a waning of a buying pressure there. You know what I mean? We are definitely losing steam. We were as soon as I saw this pattern building, I thought, you know, we're probably gonna fake to the upside and break down. You know, it still might happen. We still might see some upside, but it does look like we're having a little bit of a fake out there. Like I say, I expect more short-term downside, guys. I wouldn't be surprised at it at all. I wouldn't be surprised. What's going on, Jojo? Let's hope ADA hits ETH price. Oh, dude, that'd be amazing. Don't think it's going to happen, at least not for a while. Like, I think to hit ETH price, we'd be talking trillions for the market cap for ADA, wouldn't we? I could see us doing a 5XL this run. You know, some people say more. I'm thinking $2.5 to $3 this run personally. But like I say, with a hype that's happening with ADA now, with the update, smart contracts will be coming next month. Native tokens are going to be able to be created now on the network. You know, the people being able to build NFTs. It's like it is going to be insane over the next few months for ADA, along with all the hype. Like, it's destined for some big moves, but the ETH market cap is definitely well, not the ETH market cap, the ETH price is a little bit out of our sights at the moment. But you never know. You never know. Maybe once the market becomes super mainstream in a few years' time. But if we can get a 3x, I'll be happy on ADA. I'll go in at 30 cents. So, you know, I'm already on a good run, really. So if you could make $3, I'll be happy. But anything above that, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. So still, ADA's kind of just it's just kind of just trading sideways at the moment. ADA's in a little bit of an indecision. Bitcoin's had this little bit of a rally, which ADA's probably kind of just getting held back by that at the moment, guys, because obviously when there's super volatility in Bitcoin, it does tend to cause the altcoins just to take pause for a moment. Obviously, big pullbacks will obviously cause us to pull back as well. But that's why what we really want now, like I said, we want Bitcoin to settle now. Either it'd be nice if you traded around this sort of area, if you pull back to the 42k and then just consolidate around the 42k for a few days, it'll be great for altcoins. It'll allow us to have a little flow then, because at the minute we're coming to the point where we're gonna have to break out soon for ADA. Hopefully it's a break to the upside, but just as a little FYI, the last time we did have a fork, guys, when the Shelley mainnet went live, we did have a consolidation in price, and the market was consolidating then also. That's gone back last year, but at the same time, we are consolidating now. But we're also in a bull run. We're like well into the bull run now, so it's kind of like, you know, there is the saying, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news. So we might see some sort of pullback today. I think there will be a lot of people possibly setting sell orders with the fork because they're expecting a little bit of consolidation. If we do, I think we might see prices anywhere down to $1.08, $1.09 maybe, around that sort of range if we do have a significant pullback, because that still will be at this price if we come all the way back to, let's say, where was it that I thought we might pull back to yesterday. I did have it marked up, but I think I cleaned off my chart. But let's say if we do have a pullback to $1.09, that is still a 12% pullback from where we are now. So that's still a decent pullback, really. But I can't see us pulling back below $1 personally. And if we do, I think it'll be a quick bounce back out of it. But yeah, man, I'm still super bullish on ADA. Like I say, I think we're still going to do another 150% from here, possibly 200%. But yeah, I'll just be aware that with the fork happening, we might see a little bit of a contraction in the price, just short term, maybe for a couple of days, and then maybe we'll see the price boom then. But of course, there's loads of hype on ADA at the moment, guys. You know, you've got Saudi investment firms moving $750 billion worth of Bitcoin out of Bitcoin into ADA and Polkadot, which is incredibly bullish. That's not them just investing into ADA. That's them taking their Bitcoin investment and moving it into ADA, which is like, that's pretty big, man. Really, you know what I mean? That's a very bullish statement by those guys actually doing something like that, because it's one thing actually topping up your investment with an alt, maybe like Ethereum or Polkadot or Cardano, but it's another thing to take from your Bitcoin stack and put it into another coin. So that's super bullish from those guys. Yeah, it's like you got to understand as well, guys, with a lot of the prices, you got to look at the market cap to the price of the coin to the coins in circulation. You know what I mean? Obviously, the more coins you've got in circulation, the lower the ultimate price can be, just down to the physical limitations of the market cap, basically, and obviously depending where you're at with the prices, it is as well. But that's not to say that we can't see much higher prices in the future, but that's when we're talking this because at the minute, guys, crypto is still niche. It's massive, but it's niche. Maybe if it does become part of the true global financial system in the future and adopted and accepted by governments and such to a real mainstream level, we're opening the market up then to hundreds of trillions of dollars of possibility. But even at that point, you're limited still. There's only so much in the world, isn't there? You know what I mean? So, like, even if we're talking that sort of levels, man, we might see, like, a $30 to $40 ADA in the future. But, like, that's talking mass adoption. Like I say, if we can see a $10 ADA, man, I'd be happy. And I'm talking next run, because that's my plan, is hopefully we see a sort of pullback like the last time. We see maybe a 90 to 95%. I think ADA corrected like 99% last time. I don't think we'll see anything like that, to be fair, just because of what ADA's doing. But you should never underestimate what the pullbacks can be in crypto. Once the market really starts to contract, it's going to start to contract really badly. But, will we see a 99% pullback again? Probably not. Is it possible we'll see something like 90%? Definitely. And if we do, then I'll be happy about that, because I'll be dumping back into ADA hard, and I'll be doing that over the next 3 years as well. And then, if maybe we see a $10 ADA next run, then I'll be a very, very happy chappy. Well, even if we see a $3 ADA next run, I'll be even happier. You know what I mean? Because if you put a decent stack into ADA, sub 5 cents, let's say, and it goes to $3, you're going to be making a pretty penny, man. And like I say, I believe ADA is a long-term hodl as well, in the sense that if you're in now, personally, obviously what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be taking my profit towards the end of the bull run. I probably will keep just a small amount, just in case. You never know what's going to happen. We might not get such a pullback as we're hoping. We might end up at a point where we're higher than what it was where I initially bought in. We'll see. You never know. I don't think we will be. I think we will pull back, and then I'll just be going in heavy after the market bull runs over. Yeah, like I say, for me personally, if you do 200%, we're looking at what now? Just over $3, which is definitely doable now. I think, we got up to it. I was quite shocked how fast we went to nearly $1.50. I didn't think we'd make that move so quick. So I do definitely think, more like $3.50 is possible. But like I say, $2.50 to $3 for me, because you've got to don't underestimate people's ability to start taking profit, guys. A lot of people are like, that's it, man, we're going to the moon. But there's at a point, even if you're going at $1, even if you're going at 20, 30 cents, there's people who got in at 5 cents, 2 cents. When it gets to things like $3, guys, those are the sort of people that'd be mad not to be taking profit, and quite large chunks as well. So, that's always going to be a thing. You got to take into account, guys. A lot of people forget that, because you're going to want to take profit at some point, aren't you? You got to understand that all the people that came before you, they're going to want to do exactly the same thing. But yeah, man, I've got a bit of a sore throat, I have. But yeah, Bitcoin's attempting it, man. It's not been fully rejected just yet. It's looking more and more likely, though, that we are going to get a rejection. If we can't break through here now, we're 13 minutes off the close of this candle. Unless we get a really good rally at the end of these last 13 minutes, guys, it's looking very much like we're going to see a bit of a reversal here, maybe. And a little bit of a... We'll see if we can keep this as support, and then attempt to continue on. If not, maybe we'll find some support in this lower trend line, but it's a very weak trend line, really, so I wouldn't bank on it. We're basically relying on the EMA band there, really. Yeah, because there's not really much support in this... we could maybe bounce off 45,500-ish, maybe, possibly. If we do, we could come back and maybe find to see if this trend line is actually viable. It's shown itself as viable here, but it's only got 2 points of contact, this trend line has. So yeah, it's not the strongest, but it's not to say it won't. But at the minute, yeah, it looks like we are getting a decent bit of rejection there, guys. But it's still fighting on, man. Still fighting on. It's hanging right around that line we've got in just there, really. If we can break through, though, like I say, I think we might see 50 to 55k. Anything in that range is possible. but more likely, looking at the way things are going now, I think this possibly could be coming towards the end of this move, and we might see a little bit of a pullback now, guys. But it's to be expected. I know there's going to be a lot of people probably, once they see this move fail, see it pulling back, are going to think that's it, it really is the end of the bull market. But Bitcoin loves to do these sort of moves. You know what I mean? We've still got some consolidation to do. We've still definitely got some consolidation. We've had some strong moves, guys. You got to understand as well. We've pushed all the way up here. Really, this is only the real second major pullback. We've had these little micro pullbacks, but we've kind of just been charging on for a long ass time now, guys. Since December, really, the start of December, and this is only the second major pullback, where I think it was at least there was 10 decent pullbacks, but I think it was at least 6 that were 33% plus in the 2017 bull run with 2, you know what I mean? And we're still only, at the moment, it's only like 17% down. Where we are at the minute, I think we did 20 odd percent, was it, in total? 25% still in Bitcoin terms. That's not a big pullback. It's really not. Heading back to work, Finny. All right, Rosie, no worries. Let me know how everything goes in Twitter, would you? I'd appreciate that. My throat's killing as well, guys, man. If I'm just waffling as well today, I do apologise. I'm super tired, guys. I'm really tired today, so if I'm not giving the best or most succinct info, I do apologise. But this bounce was coming as well. You've only got to look in the RSI, guys, really. You can see the increased buying pressure in the histogram on the MACD. There was bullish divergence here, guys. We had bullish divergence, really, since we really started to come down. We've had bullish divergence building on Bitcoin on the hourly. So this bounce was inevitable on the 4 hourly as well. The bullish divergence is there. Let's have a little look on the daily, shall we? I think we do have some hidden bullish divergence as well. Yeah, we got some hidden bullish divergence on the hourly also. So, this bounce was definitely expected. It's actually, on the daily, it looks quite a nice bounce, doesn't it, really? But this is a strong area of resistance, man. We've got to break through this, otherwise we are going to see more downside. I still think we're going to see more downside even if we break through. But, we'll see how things go. Let me just check. I'm sure I heard somebody chattering on about Head and Shoulders forming. Maybe it wasn't Bitcoin. I was lurking in some stream and I was working away, and I heard somebody talking about Head and Shoulders. They weren't talking about Bitcoin. It mustn't have been. Maybe they're talking about ETH, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, still looking all right. We haven't been rejected fully yet, but we definitely are losing a little bit of steam there, guys, on this bounce. And it's been a strong move to the upside, really. So, even if we do have a little pullback here and continue, that's totally normal. But yeah, still looking quite strong. Bitcoin is at the mini. ETH starting now to get a bit of a red candle, obviously. When Bitcoin slows down, ETH slows down at 10 times the speed. That's been one of its most annoying things for me just lately. Bitcoin has a strong push up. ETH just really lags behind, but Bitcoin has a bit of a move back, and ETH's like, I'm ahead of you, bro. I'm off, mate. Race you to zero. I talking BTC, but it was like on the 5-minute chart. That was it. I don't know. I was freaking. I don't know who stream I was watching, man. Yeah, I'll use a 5-minute chart sometimes if I'm doing scalps, but I don't really typically bother too much with the 5-minute and the 1 minute for any major trend signals. But yeah, at the minute, we're kind of just still in that quagmire of consolidation, aren't we? You know what I mean? No, there's trades to be made, if you want to make some quick shorts and some quick longs, but they're just range trades at the minute. There's no real signs that we are breaking this consolidation period and this downward trend just yet, guys. We are consolidating very nicely though, and there's a decent amount of volume on Bitcoin today as well, so that's good to see. So it's definitely good to see that the bulls are back in town. There's definitely buying pressure there. But yeah, currently, like I say, we're still trading within that daily range that's been there for a few days. We haven't really broke below it just yet, so there's no need to worry about. Let's clear off this freaking ADA chart, shall we? Let's have a little look at it fresh, man. Fresh eyes. I let my charts get super messy sometimes, but even if you don't, I think sometimes it's just a good thing to just be like, right, let's clear the chart off. Let's have a little look at things. On a clean slate, shall we? All right, Rosie, I'll see you later. Thank you very much for hanging out, stopping by. Let me know what happens at work as well, man. I'd appreciate that. Let's go weeks to week, shall we? Let's see what we're looking at here. Let's go work to work. Definitely got a definitive resistance line here. This is what we're looking to break on ADA, isn't it? And at the minute, ADA is in a weaker position than everything else at the minute. But ADA's needed to consolidate, whether or not to do with the Mary HardFork, whether or not whatever Bitcoin's doing. We've been just building a bit of a bearish divergence for quite a while on ADA at the minute. So a pullback was necessary. And with the upward trend that we've had, it's expected. You know, you just can't make those sort of moves without consolidating in some area. So on the 4 hour, you can definitely see we've got this bearish divergence here. Price increasing, strength decreasing on the peaks. I think it's pretty much similar sort of story on the daily as well. Once again, we got a bit of bearish divergence. You can see here again, we're still above the 0 line, but we have a massive decrease in the buying pressure as well there, guys. So, you know, we might see some more downside on ADA. I fully expect it. Like I say, we've got the fork happening today. I know a lot of people are expecting it to make the price moon, but I kind of think, like I say, short term, we're going to see consolidation. Of course, it's going to lead to the price continuing to the upside in the longer term things, because once native tokens do start to come onto the Cardano network, and then, like I say, the smart contracts next month, but you don't actually need smart contracts to start building native assets on the Cardano network, which is awesome. You know, it's a multi-asset ledger as of today. I don't know when that actually goes live. I should imagine it to be a little bit later based on North American times, wouldn't it? But yeah, you know, it's pretty normal that we're going to have this pullback. We've been having bearish divergence. We've gone in a massive, I think we've done, what, like 280% in the month of February, percentage-wise, which, when you think about it, is pretty freaking crazy. Well, if you go up to at very peak, 320%. So we need a pullback. We do need a pullback on ADA for us to continue a nice, healthy run. We really do need it. And he's playing out really just as we need. We needed to come back, maybe bounce off the EMA band. That will be just lovely. Because every other time we've got overstretched, we've needed that pullback. And the last thing you want is, you can be overbought and overstretched for quite a long time in these sort of runs. It can happen. But, you know, if you want it, just for safety, just for a little bit more of a healthy move, we want these corrections, continuation. It'll keep the move going a lot longer for us. And at the end of the day, that's what we want, really. You know, obviously, short boosts are awesome to make quick gains on. But, you know, it's better for us to have a nice, healthy build-up over a longer period than having to cut, like, obviously, I'm not sleeping very much at the minute. I'm constantly on the charts, like I think most people are who are in this environment. But, you know, if you've got an asset that's a lot more likely to be doing these sort of things, and you think you're going to have blow-off tops on a more regular basis, you're going to be constantly watching it where, you know, you can relax a little bit if you've got this sort of movement. And I know that's easier said than done, and probably, like the rest of you, I won't be relaxing no matter how safe the price action looks. And it's like, somebody tweeted that yesterday, man. There was like, how's crypto changed your life? And I was like, well, my sleep pattern's wrecked, you know. I think the dude was expecting everybody to be tweeting like, yeah, man, I've got so much money now and I'm working from home and financial freedom. And like most of the people were just like, yeah, dude, man, my social life's down the pan. I don't sleep anymore. It's just like, yep, that's crypto. See, if we try and pull a trend line prior to this, which, you know, we're going off that wick there, I guess, I suppose. It's not the best, but like, we obviously do have this terrible trend line there, but shorter term trend line there is definitely there. So let's go wickety to wickety, shall we? Yeah, I definitely think we have some impending price action coming from ADA. That's for sure. It's definitely going to move. I am more in the sense of I think we're going to see move to the downside, possibly initially around about maybe find some support on this trend line, possibly around about $1.20, but maybe we see some more pullback, guys, to around about $1.15. We did have movement down to that area before, which I was talking about in Discord. I thought the next move would be around about $1.16 on the pullback on our previous high, which we did on our previous closing high on the hourly, which we did. So that's totally possible that happens again. Maybe we pull back down to $1.15 and we create ourselves a double bottom and then start to begin creating some higher lows, and higher highs again. And that would be nice. That would be, you know, that would add to the fact that, like I say, we do need that bit of consolidation on ADA just because of how the price action has been of lately and just how things like the RSI are looking as well. And we definitely do have a drop, quite a large drop as well, actually, in the buying pressure as well. Volume's still really nice, so volume is still actually quite nice. But I think I think we've got a lot of sell orders set for today. I think there's going to be a lot of people saw last time that we had a fork. Price consolidation, they're going to probably be setting sell orders, maybe squeezing it a little bit, just to get in on lower prices. Because the thing is now, ADA's starting to get a little bit more hype surrounding it. And I'm not saying, like, I know we do know that obviously these like Dubai institutes bought in, and I do expect institutions to get involved with ADA, not because I'm all about like, oh, it's the number 3 now and it's all this hype. It's just that I do genuinely believe the project's actually going to be massive in the space. And I'm not just talking about price action and market cap. I mean in interoperability and being a bit like Ethereum. You know, it becomes an ecosystem. It's not just an asset that you profit off. It's an asset that actually has value to it because it does stuff. You know, Bitcoin is a store of value, and I know Bitcoin you can trade, but it's about it's the fact that it's finite, which gives it its value. Bitcoin, and obviously its security and the decentralization of it. Of course, they're all value points, but beyond that, apart from obviously making purchases, Bitcoin doesn't have massive use factors. I'm not saying it can't, but generally it doesn't. Whereas, like, you know, your Cardano, your Ethereum, your Polkadot, and obviously other assets, they're not just like tradable assets. They're building ecosystems that other assets are going to be on top of as well. So they do have that like intrinsic value. So, like I say, I do believe from that perspective, I do think ADA is going to be a big pillar within the community. But like I say, I do expect with a fork for us to see some pullback, and then that's when price action is really going to get involved, because I think maybe people are going to try and get into some on some lower prices here. So a pullback would be great as well, because I'm looking to chuck another 100 or so bucks into it. Like, I haven't bought any ADA now since about 67 cents. I did say I was going to dollar cost average all the way up to around about 90 cents and then see how things are going. But I just kind of stopped for a while once we got around to the 67 cents mark. So I'm looking to get back in, which I do want a bit lower of a price, to be fair. I'd like to see, personally, I'll be happy if it comes back to, obviously, I want a nice strong dip. I'll be perfectly happy for ADA to come back to 80 cents. Don't think it's going to, but it's definitely possible. Like I say, depending on Bitcoin and everything else and the fork, it just depends on what Bitcoin does for the rest of the day. You know, like I say, I do think we are going to reject from that 48k and maybe see lower prices, maybe 44k today, and then over the next couple of days see 42k, and then we'll come back up. But yeah, I do think we're possibly going to, short term, we're going to see some lower prices. And like I say, I know we've consolidated a little bit here, but for a while we've been bearish. We've had bearish trends on the 4 hour, on the hourly, and on the daily, which obviously it's you'd be silly to ignore those sort of trends. And we are consolidating now, which makes sense. People are like, well, Bitcoin's pulling back makes sense. You got to remember, ADA was pushing up while Bitcoin was pulling back. So this isn't to do with Bitcoin. Obviously, it's a factor, but this is to do with the fact that ADA needed to consolidate. It's had so much price action, it needs it. Yo, what's going on, SR? I've been invested in crypto for what month was it, man? Was it July? Yeah, since last summer. July, August, I think it was. And I've been trading, like I've invested for a bit, but I've been trading now for a couple of months. And because I've been so focused on crypto, I haven't been streaming. So I was like, you know what? I need to stream, man. So let's just fucking do a couple of crypto streams until I get back on the gaming shit properly. Yo, Jamie, what's going on, fella? Welcome to the stream. So, yeah, like I say, more downside to come, in my opinion, on ADA. I wouldn't be too worried about it, though. I think it's going to be short-lived and we're going to see a sharp snap. Personally, I think anywhere around the $1.15 mark on that previous high close on the hourly candle, on the 4 hourly, sorry. So, yeah, I think... Let's whack into that. Let's go off the 4 hourly on there. It's not that it's a worry, because I think that's where our bounce is anyway. But we could see lower prices than that. But there's definitely bearishness there. We need some downward price action, in my opinion. But we could see a little bit of sideways trading. But we are coming to impending price action now. We're going to either break out, or we're going to break to the downside, or we could just have a little fake out and go the opposite way. We might attempt to break to the upside and then break down. We might have a little fake out to the downside and break up, but I'm gonna hedge my bets at the minute, and I think we are going to see some more downward price action. We have actually on the hourly as well. We are just below the EMA band as well now, so we're going to find that as resistance. So I'm going to say we're going to see some more downward price. I wouldn't be surprised if you come all the way down to $1.15. So keep your eye out for that. If it does, that will be a good buy position. That's what I'm kind of looking at. Obviously, if you just begin to trade up, I will be costing back in a little bit again, but probably just day trading it more than likely rather than spot buying. But I'm going to be looking around about the $1.15, $1.16 as maybe another entry for me. And if we get anything lower than that, then awesome, because I'll be fucking buying. Man, just imagine if you'd have been able to get in on that cracking glitch the other day. Cocked ADA at 15 cents. Woo! That would have been nice. That would have been nice. Sorry if I sound like crap as well. I've got a bit of a sore throat, guys. Do apologise. Is that shit playing? Is my headset not on? Sorry, I can't hear the fucking music. The Minecraft, because my fucking headset's disconnected. Boop, boop. Alright then. Can you guys hear that music? Minecraft music. No, I don't think you can you? What's... Like, why? Windows is just like, I'm just going to mute your desktop audio. Like, fuck you, Windows. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Can't play the current song. Yeah, because Windows sucks. Getting trolled. You guys can hear that now. Yeah, it's probably really quiet, but you should be able to hear that now. I don't know why Windows keeps doing that, man. It's annoying. Let's have a look at Chainlink, shall we? I haven't looked at Chainlink for a few days. Where are we? Up 11%. Let's go. Nice. Because we were being a little lackadaisical. To be fair, we've Linky's always a little bit slow to recover, though, if I'm honest. Pardon me. We've had great runs with it, but it's been a little bit slow. Let's get this super trend off, man. I freaking can hardly fucking see the candles, man, when you got that shit on. Alright, let's have a look at the book, shall we, Shadrach? Getting a little bit of a buying pressure, wane a little bit there. We still are in a downtrend, really, on Link, you know what I mean? If you do look at this local trend, though, we've broken out of that local trend, so that's good. And we are back testing it now as what looks like it's going to make some support, so that's good to see. But still, it looks like we might have bottomed out now. Oh, on the grander scheme, we have made a higher low. Because we have made two lower lows there, but we are creating ourselves a little bit of a W pattern. So I do, obviously, depending on how much and how fast Bitcoin moves to the downside, if we don't pull back today, and we maybe settle and trade in this sort of area, the continuation of the range trading, should I say, then you know, we could see some more movement to the upside on Link, but at the minute, it's in a bit of a weak position, really. It looks good, but if, like I say, Bitcoin has a decent pullback here, we might see a not too nice price action on a Litecoin. I mean, Chainlink, really. But at the minute, I think we're going to see some short-term increases in price. We definitely do have a reduction in buy pressure, though, on the MACD. We're still well over the zero line, though. Let's see if we can actually find this trend line as support, and we don't break down and test the EMA band, maybe.
At Vodafone, we know how important it is to keep connecting. Whether you're working from your back bedroom or keeping the kids on top of chemistry, it's now more
you need the app.
crucial than
The
ever
tabs
to have
in
a
app help you so
reliable
much.
broadband connection.
Oh,
Switch
the
to
Binance app.
superfast broadband. Download speeds of 63 megabits per second.
I might use it on my other rig, man. I don't think I'll use it on this rig, to be fair.
Ready? Vodafone.
Offer ends 4th of March. 24-month contract, credit check, acceptance, terms and CPI plus 3.9% annual price rise apply.
Yeah, Link at the mini. He's trying to build some support there to make continuation to the upside, but we are definitely going to be relying on the bitty bitties. Itty bitty bitties. That previous high. He's acting as a little bit of support and resistance as well, isn't he? So if we do break down, that could be a possible target that we find some support at.
Stay home. Protect the NHS.
That's definitely acting as a level of resistance as well, isn't he? Okay. So we've definitely got some resistance at just short of $27, which is a previous high before a little bit of a pullback there on the move to the upside. But yeah, at the mini, Link looks like it's setting up to have some more upward price action, but yeah, we're still relying on Bitcoin at the minute, ain't we? Super volatile. Can't really say, you know, with all the altcoins, it's really, you're in a position at the minute where you can't really put too much behind what you're saying because Bitcoin's so volatile. You know, you could look at the charts and it would play out like that, but it won't because Bitcoin will pull back another 4 or 5k, and then everything that's set up and all the moves that are looking like they're going to happen don't fucking happen. Because itty bitty bitty's like, no, you're coming down with me, fella. Yeah, it was like I say, we're still deep in this consolidation phase at the moment. Let's have a look at Litecoin as well, shall we? Litecoin's up 8%, nice. I think we did see prices down to, what was it, like $150 on Litecoin. 153 at his lowest Litecoin, wasn't he? Got buy signal on the hourly on Litecoin. That Litecoin is acting quite similar to its previous ones, but it does, like, because it does the same as Bitcoin, didn't it? We had this strong pullback, and then we're getting into the consolidation range. Looks like we did find the previous high as some sort of resistance, didn't we, there as well? We didn't really find it as support. We just bounced back up and kind of found it as resistance, didn't we? We broke out there and then capitulated and then tried to break it again. Then we broke it again and then failed it. So it does seem like if we can get some support at this level, this would show a very, very nice move. If we can break back to this upside of $185 again and find some support at this level, that would be quite a nice area to get some support, actually. Because every time we've tried to break through that there, which was a previous high, it's not a great level, but, you know, previous highs do, if you do make previous highs that were once obviously a high, then become support. That's a good move, which we failed to do both times there. Broke out, totally attempted by the looks of it to make it support there, didn't he? And then just totally broke down. So that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, you know, Litecoin's going to follow its big bro, so whatever Bitcoin does, Litecoin's going to do. Let's have a look at RSR as well. RSR's doing nice, man, up 20% today. That's what I like to see. Because RSR got mauled. Because it was already in a bit of a consolidation period anyway. It got rejected off its high from round about the 13th. And then this is, what was it, the 21st when the Bitcoin pullback started, wasn't it? Was it the 21st? And then obviously it was recovering from this pullback, and then it got hit hard. And I think in total, we saw like 50% plus. The pullback on RSR was, I think, including the prior pullback to the Bitcoin dump. So RSR's had a yeah, man, 55%. Damn. Had a rough time. I've got a little bit of RSR as well. So I hadn't checked it for a few days, and then I saw that. I was like, oh no. That's a massacre. Oh, I'll have a look at Atom in a second, dude. I haven't really looked at that for a while. I've got no Atom though, so but I'll have a look. But yeah, RSR showing some good trends there. We've got a nice little W pattern there as well. Kind of have got a bit of a reverse head and shoulders there, you could argue. Nah, it's not really there, is he? I was going to say that little one there, but I suppose he could have got a pull out there, but that's a tiny little shoulder. So yeah. Showing some good price action on RSR, actually. That's good to see. He needed that, man. He definitely needed that. Little bit bearish on the really short term there. Probably going to see a bit of a pullback. Maybe come down and test the 20 and the EMA band as a bit of support there, possibly. But I definitely think we're going to have a little bit of a pullback there. Candles looking kind of weak. We've got a lot of freaking wicks there. MACD's about to cross over. We are about to go under the zero line. Little bit of bearish divergence there on the RSI as well. But yeah, man, I'm glad we've had a pull up on that. That's had a nice pull up, that has, actually. How much has actually come up from its low? It's had a nice bounce, actually, RSR has. What did it manage to 67? Damn, man. That's decent to see then. That's nice. Strong. Good to see. So yeah, continued upside, I think, from RSR. Probably depending on what Bitcoin does. Hopefully, like I say, as long as Bitcoin doesn't dump too fast, I do expect lower price. But if Bitcoin's a little bit more gentle about it, you know, we should hold out on all our alts, really. You know, if once the volatility comes down, then we're laughing. But yeah, I think we'll continue to the upside as long as, like I say, Bitcoin doesn't pull back too hard. And then obviously I think our next run is to break through this little ascending triangle here, and then I think 63 cents is the next logical real point of resistance, isn't it? And then obviously next step, the previous high, which is all the way back at 78 cents. Man, RSI really went on a tear, didn't he? It really was on its way to $1, man, before it had that. Well, to be fair though, it really did need that pullback because we were building quite a bit of bearish divergence there, man. There was a big switch in the RSI just prior to that pullback, so it makes sense. But obviously, then Bitcoin put a halt to the recovery and made it pull back even more. What's going on, Abby Manu? Usually Monday is supposed to be dump and Saturday is supposed to be pump, but this Monday nothing big happened. Why? What's going on, Edward? Welcome to the stream. It just depends, really. The future reset happened on Friday. The futures contracts reset, so that was one of the reasons why we had a decent pullback yesterday. Typically, when it came to the 2017 run, you had a lot of bloody Mondays. We've only really had one real bloody Monday through this run, really, to be fair. We've been having a lot more pullbacks on Sundays. There's no real rhyme or reason to it other than depending on some of the big markets when they open. Weekends are usually low volume anyway. That's why I'm trying to pull away from trading too much on the weekends now. Even though there was 2 trades that I really should have took last night, which I didn't because I had that new rule, which I'm probably going to be a little bit more flexible with, if I'm honest. But yeah, dude, there's no like one word you can say of why the market decided to pull back on a particular day to another day. You know, you'll be looking at a lot of different aspects that could cause those sort of pullbacks. I wouldn't worry too much on trying to find out which days I'm expecting pullbacks to happen, because you'll really like struggle to try and catch tops and catch bottoms. You know what I mean? This consolidation period that obviously now has been building for a while because of the price action that we've been having, and I think it's going to continue. I think the reason we're probably not getting a massive major pullback today, for one, personally, possibly, obviously this is just total speculation, is because we're kind of in a heavy consolidationary period anyway, and the market really doesn't need to pull back too heavy at the moment. I do expect we'll see lower price action. But I think it's probably going to be later on in the week. I think today we might attempt to rally up to anywhere between 50 to 55k. But as the day goes on, it's looking less and less likely, if I'm honest. I think we're going to pull back to 44k before we have any real movement either way. If we do pull back to 44k, we might try another bounce, creating a little W pattern and attempt to rally higher again. And then we have the actual completion of the pullback. But yeah, with the market, when it's in these super volatile consolidation periods, I wouldn't worry too much about trying to be like, right, are we going to have a pullback on Monday? Because the market's just so volatile, you know, you might expect it to happen on a Monday, it happens Sunday, and then it happens again on Tuesday, you know what I mean? That's why, like, these kind of periods, you can trade these, you can make serious amounts of cash as well. You can trade these areas, but it's, for me at the minute, it's just super volatile, man. That's why I chose not to take the Bitcoin and Ethereum longs last night. But I really wish I had done now, because it was actually quite nice longs, to be fair. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. I'm kind of just waiting for the bottom now, personally, to start getting back into some trades. Which, like I say, for me, I'm personally expecting 42k for Bitcoin. But you never know, we might have found the bottom already. It might have happened. But yeah, I won't be able to give you a definitive answer to why we didn't really have a pullback today when we did yesterday. It's just the market, dude. The market. I think if you worry too much about stuff like that, you send yourself insane, man. It's a fucking wild ride as it is enough. Crypto is in worrying too much about trying to pin down specific timing of price action. You know what I mean? All you can do really is get as close as what you think you can. It's like, don't worry about trying to time highs too much and worry about trying to time the bottoms of dips too much. Just, you know, get your trades in as best as you can and make sure you're taking profit, man. Yeah, man. Like I say, though, this played out just as I thought it would. Really, going off the previous trends, I said 55 to 60k. We'd have that pullback, and I actually shocked that it because the way we were having the price action, I was like, man, I think actually we might push through 60k here before we had this pullback. But you know, right where I thought it was going to happen, it happened. Oh, actually, yeah, you wanted me to look at Matic, didn't you, dude? No, was it Matic? Atom, sorry. You wanted me to look at Atom, yeah. My bad. I'm off on a tangent then. Up 7% today, Atom is. I've been thinking about grabbing some cake. I know it's had insane price gains and it's been consolidating, but I do think we could still see $35 to $40 on cake again. And I'm thinking, I'll have a look at cake in a minute. I'm thinking about getting some more getting some pancake swap. All right then. Let's have a look at the 4 hour. Let's go Wicks, shall we? Let's go Wicks. Let's go from Wick to Wick, shall we? So I just want to go from... we are really building sort of almost... It is a descending triangle, really, isn't it? So, yeah, at the minute, obviously, bearish pattern. We are creating... Well, we've made a higher low there. So we've broke that at the minute. It looks like we're going to create a lower high, though. It need to break this trend line now. Impending price actions coming. The 200 moving average is getting very close though. So you know this could be a really quite powerful move to the upside. Actually, looking at this, let's have a look at the. These just crossed over. We are into above the zero line now in buying pressure. The volume's super low though at the minute, you know. So like, if we do get any sort of breakout, is it really going to get confirmed with such low volume? It's not the be all and end all, but you know, you want to be seeing a bit more volume for those sort of moves. But the breakout hasn't happened yet, so. But apart from the volume, to me, I think that's starting to look quite good, man. We just need, if you can find some support on off the EMA and get some volume with the breakout. Maybe we see it a little bit more downside first, and we have a bounce off the 200 MA. Because the last time we did on the 4 hourly was back on the 27th of January at $6.76. So you know, if we see a similar sort of move and we do bounce off the 200 here, breakthrough after that bounce out with some volume, find some support, we could see some serious move to the upside there. We've just going to test the previous high, would be a 45% increase. So when did that pull back? So that's been consolidating for a while now, hasn't it, actually? Yeah, man, that's been having decent consolidation for a while, to be fair. Let's go back to the 21st. The Bitcoin pullback wasn't he? And it didn't really get too savaged by Bitcoin's pullback. It seems like it's kind of been all part of its consolidation. So to me, at the mini, that's not looking too bad at all, if I'm honest, personally. That looks bullish to me. I think we could see another attempt at going for this previous high. It's been consolidating now for what? 2 weeks pretty much, isn't it? Almost. Consolidation was definitely coming. We were bearish there for quite a bit before we had that peak, weren't we? It's just at the minute there's super low volume at the minute, isn't there, on Atom? That's the only thing. But you know, if we can get that volume as the breakout happens, that'll be good. I had to look at Neo for a while, man. Up 13%. Yeah, Neo's been on a run, man. I think the last time I checked on this, man, it was at like $30, maybe even lower. So that's had a real nice run. pretty much like the entire market at the minute, even without the Bitcoin pullback. Obviously, some coins are not trading well at all. Obviously, that always happens. There's always going to be the coins that don't pop in a bull run. But pretty much everything's been doing similar sort of thing. Yeah, that happened when the Bitcoin dump happened. Was building pretty much like every other asset going. Was building bearish divergence, so it was getting a correction. Whether or not Bitcoin did the pullback there, it's just I think that quite a portion of the altcoins were due for corrections, just as Bitcoin corrected, which kind of like led to some of them really getting mauled a little bit. That really did pull back, didn't it? 43% pullback in the space of what? Was that 2 days? Day and 8 hours. It's bounced off twice. Bounced off the 200, had a nice little retracement. It broke down below it, but found support again and had a nice little strong bounce there as well. Going for a bit more of a local trend, maybe. It's not really there, is it? We are... Maybe that's our bottom, possibly. You know, maybe we see a bit of a retracement here, and then this sort of move. If we do have a little bit of a pullback here, if you can break that neckline, that could be a possible time to re-enter on Neo. Obviously, if you're not already in. But yeah, man, another one that yeah, I see some more price action to the upside as well on Neo. You know, it's pulled back with Bitcoin, really, hasn't it? It was in a good trend to the upside. It needed a consolidationary period. Big sell-off happened there, didn't he? You know, volume's not looking too shabby either as well. It's actually picked up over the last couple of days prior to these real big moves to the upside. So, yeah, man, I think we're going to see some more price action on Z. Actually, let's have a look. Should we whip out the old Fibonacci? Should we whip out the old Fibonacci? See what it's saying, shall we? The old Fibby. So yeah, I think we'll see a short-term retracement there, and then if we can continue this pattern, I can't see why we can't hit this $43 mark. And then really, there's not massive amounts of resistance running up till that, is there really? I should imagine this is probably going to be our hardest level of resistance.
At Vodafone, we know how
Where are
important
we?
it is to keep connecting. Whether you're working from your back bedroom or keeping the kids on top of chemistry, it's now more crucial than ever to have a
USDT,
reliable
yeah.
broadband connection. So, switch to Vodafone Superfast Broadband.
Shall have a look on watch it a second. Let's see where our
For just
volume's at for the most part.
today. Ready? Vodafone.
Offer ends 4th of March. 24-month contract, credit check, acceptance, terms and CPI plus 3.9% annual price rise apply. Vodafone.co.uk.
So there is a good level of volume right there where I was just talking about. So that we might find a little bit of resistance there. There actually is a decent bit of resistance right up to the $42 mark. I think if we can break through that $42 mark though, then we're in good volume. Market's looking good. No reason why we can't test that prior high again. Oh no, that is about what I was just saying, is he? Okay, that's about right, yeah. That's just what I was saying, where I was marking up, yeah. Oh, sorry, I thought this was actually high. It's because the chart's on the hourly, isn't it? Yeah. Are we on the hourly there? No, we're on the 4 hourly. That's why it's looking different. I was like, wait a minute. That's higher than what I expected, to be fair. Yeah, that's about right. So, yeah. About where the chart's showing us as well, really. right on the fib level as well, actually. So yeah, that's going to be a major level of resistance. 39 to 43. I think if you could break through there, I think we should be able to see a retest of that $55 personally. Nah. We're all just kind of waiting on a biddy at the minute, aren't we? Attempting to break through that $38 level at the minute. Let's have a look at Arve as well. Oh man, up 20% today. Let's go. The market is having a nice bounce today, isn't it? It's good to see. It's nice to see green. Even though, like I say, I am still expecting a downward movement of Bitcoin. It is nice to look at the charts and the markets and see lots of green. It's very, very nice. It's better than when you wake up and you roll over and you look at your phone and it's like, oh my God. Even though, when you're expecting some moves, it's still like, oh shit. Yeah, same here, dude, man. That's kind of what I'm waiting for at the minute. I'm waiting if I can get a buy signal on the 4 early on Bitcoin. I might contemplate, but the volatility's still a little bit too much for me at the minute. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I open that long, then we see a big swing back down. But there's longs on other assets that I'm looking at. I'm like, man, that's looking very tradable right now. And then it's like, but I don't want to, because I know that the second I open it, Bitcoin's going to be like, got you, bro. And then swing to the downside, and all of that bullish indication is going to go out the window, because obviously going to be following the big broski. So it looks like we got a double bottom there on Arve, doesn't he? Still getting this downward trend at the mini. 200 MA is the thing that we need to break. It looks like it's now testing the EMA band. Obviously, it's broke below, and then it's became resistance all the way down here. Apart from that fake out, which it did fake out and got rejected off the resistance, so it's in a lot stronger of a position here, though. It does actually, instead of just breaking, and then again, though, it did kind of do that there, didn't he? We need to, if we can get a little bit of support here and attempt to break through this resistance line, find it some support. No reason why we can't see any. Well, there is reason, Bitcoin, but no reason looking at the charts why we can't see any upside off of that. Let's get this Bitcoin chart cleared, man. This one's looking a fucking mess now, isn't it? Yeah, but look, Bitcoin looks great on the 4 early. Just need what's the volume saying, man? Oh, it's not too terrible, actually. Guess could. Yeah, actually, Bitcoin is looking quite nice, man. This is set Binance. Okay, so we've actually managed to break through one of the higher volume areas. So if we can try and find this as support now, this could actually indicate quite a nice move to the upside, actually. I do still think we're going to break down in price, even if we have a run up to like 45. But if we can now back test this sort of price level as some support, that's a high volume area. That would give us a strong level of support. That would. What price is that coming up as? 47.2, let's say. Okay. $48.62 is a decent level of volume as well, isn't it? And obviously we've got these two are decent levels. So I think once you once you get past this 50k level, 52k is, I think, easily achieved. And then I think once we break through that, there's no reason why we can't see 54 to 55k. I do think the momentum will burn out there a little bit, but if we can get back into those areas, we could go for a retest. I don't think we're going to. At the minute we can't. We're steaming above. Yeah, the wicks really show where that volume's coming in, don't they? Okay. All right, then. So if we can try and find this as support now, this could be quite a nice strong move to the upside. But we need to find some support, man. Otherwise, we are going to break down because we are power moving up now. Which we need. That's what, Bitcoin does that. Typically at the end of these consolidations, we do have these, we did it here. We had this big move up, we broke down, and then we went insane, and then we were out of the freaking, the downward trend there. So, yeah, we need to try and create a little bit of a support around this number, actually, to be fair. That would have been a really nice lung to get into, though, man. I shouldn't let my new Sunday rule bother me. But you can guarantee next Sunday I'll do something like that, and then be like, yeah, the rule's back in because I fucked up. Let's have a look on the early. Hey, yo, Neil, what's going on, dude? Welcome to the stream, geezer. We're getting into overbought at the minute on Bitcoin, but obviously those sort of trends can continue for quite a while in these sort of situations. But the fact that we're in a downward trend at the moment, currently trying to break out of it, I do think we are going to come down. Like I say, though, if we can come down and if we can break down a little bit and test this sort of area, give ourselves some support around about the 47,480 sort of area, 47.5, this could be a nice area for the bounce for us then. And we could really see some move to the upside then. But we need that level of support, man. We need to create some support there. We really do. BTC to 42k. I'm going to 100x the shit out of BNB from 212 to 250. How you doing though, Neil? You're a good dude. Yeah, I'm going to be slapping some nice lungs in on ETH, Bitcoin. I probably will end up dabbling in BNB myself as well, because BNBs have been a nice little learner for me. Because BNB's been once it starts it gets going, it fucking goes. Done it in a short period of time as well. You can really make some nice fucking daily fucking trades on a BNB. Like even today, like it's, since what, 5 o'clock yesterday. It's had a 32% swing. It's nice, man. It's nice. But yeah, at the minute, everything's like not looking. When I say not looking good, everything's looking good. We're where we want to be, really. Obviously, at the minute, in terms of like for me personally, for other people, there's probably plenty of trades out there. Me personally, I'm a little bit more conservative. There's not necessarily anything out there that I'm really looking to jump into yet. If we maybe get a buy signal on the 4 early on Bitty, I might throw in a cheeky lung there. If we could break through, like I say, because then I think we could possibly see 52 to 55k, possibly 54k, 55k, then a pullback. But even then, still, like, at the minute, I need to see some serious volume going along with this breakout, which at the minute, it's not terrible, but definitely need some more. ETH just pretty much following Bitcoin at the minute, so not really much to say there. Looking much healthier, though, at the minute. When you go onto the macro, looking at the previous height, ETH, you can't say it was looking great, but it wasn't looking as bad as it did on the micro. But, at least it's not looking fucking that bad today. Like, ETH has been looking, the last couple of days, ETH has been looking rotten, man. But yeah, we're looking at a lot better today with ETH. But we are finding a lot of resistance around this mark, aren't we? It was support, it became resistance. It became quite a strong level of resistance, this has actually, hasn't it? It's 35 to 1540 area. Once you break through that on Ethereum, we could see some nice price movement, but it's finding a lot of resistance there. But obviously, it's not moving too much because Bitcoin's not moving too much really. Bitcoin's just really struggling to just get past this area and break beyond it, isn't he? These prior wicks are giving it the old fuck you. But still, looking good. Like I say, I do think we're going to see some more downtime on the Bitcoin, but it's not unexpected, man. It's not unexpected. I had lights down there to PVC pipes for my LED photo lights. Oh, nice, man. Nice. You just woke up. Oh, man, freaking out. I went to bed earlier last night, but I'm knackered, I am absolutely knackered just lately. So I'm probably just rambling today. I'm probably not making many coherent points, so I do apologise, but I'm just half asleep. I'll probably be a bit more awake later on, hopefully. Apologies if I sound like trash as well, man. My throat's fucking sounding rotten. All right, let's have a little look. Let's have a little look at what some of the tiny market caps are doing, shall we? OG fan token up 12%. Oh shit! I heard that they'd got a token, but I didn't realise it was on Binance. Apparently this went insane when it got listed. Yeah, Atletico Madrid's fucking have got their own token. Like what the fuck? Weather was gorgeous over the weekend. Oh man, driving Rosie to work was nice this morning. It was like driving in Silent Hill, man. It was so foggy, like next level foggy. It was pretty cool driving Rosie to work. So I didn't even realise this shit had been going this long, man. I heard about it yesterday, I think. That's crazy. Atletico Madrid have got their own token, What the fuck? We truly are in the 21st century, guys. Football teams have got their own cryptocurrencies now. What a world we live in. Did have a nice... Oh, man, that was a... nice roundy bottom there, man. Perfect, that is. Perfect. Did he get heavily affected by Bitcoin's pullback? Oh, he did, yeah. He got savaged by Bitcoin's pullback, didn't he? He was actually in really... I can't believe Atletico Madrid got a fucking token. Man, it's volatile as fuck, though. This is all just community, I'm guessing, I bet, like, It was building a bit of an ascending triangle, wasn't it, before? Oh, these wild fucking wicks, man. Dude. Some wild ash price action. $20% in an hour. What did it come? What did it fucking swing in this hour? I'm at 20%. Jesus. Bro, look at these wicks and these fucking candles, man. 24% swing. 24%. Like, what is this used for? Like, can they actually purchase stuff with this, or is it literally just a speculative asset, like as a fan? Like, can it be used to like purchase stuff at the ground or something, like like buy, like, could you buy like an Atletico Madrid football kit with a fucking one of these tokens, like. Could be looking to break out. Could be looking to break out. Definitely got the possibility for some upside, man. Kind of really went into a price discovery, didn't it? Really. Obviously, had it sell off. Bottomed out, nice curve bottom here. Began its move to the upside. Got a nice W pattern here, which then pushed into this next surge. Obviously, these are crazy. Like, I don't know if these are just pump and dumps or is this just like insane upsurge by fans. You know what I mean? Started to have a bit of a pullback here, and then Bitcoin kicked in. Interesting. Might have to keep my eye on that just for bants. Just for bants. I didn't realise it was on Binance, you know. Yeah, fucking mad. Was it London Fog? It fucking, dude, it was insane. It was like that proper, like you know, where 50 yards in front of you can't see shit. You know what I mean? Like cars disappearing into the distance and reappearing as you get closer, like. It's fucking mad. But I love it, man. Like, especially driving back with the window open, like music off, and just listening to the birds tweeting, like driving in the fog. It's sick still. Proper getting Silent Hill vibes, right, man? I'm saying to Rosa, all you need now is to hear the fucking air raid siren go off, and then you know you're fucked. Excuse me. OG token. What the fuck is this thing, man? Got all it up there, man. Jesus. Woo! There's a fan token for AS Roma as well. What the fuck is with this? The fuck is with these geezers, man? Fucking Spanish are mental, ain't they? Actually, AS Roma's Italian, eh? OG. Is this another football one? This OG one? And what the fuck is with this? Yeah, there's a PSG one. There's a Juventus one. What the fuck, bro? So there's a Juve one, a Paris Saint-Germain token, a fucking Atletico Madrid one, an AS Roma one, OG fan token. I'm guessing that's another fucking one because it says fan token. Token club token. What the fuck? Synthetic USD, yeah. That's crazy, man. I didn't realise that many football clubs have got their own fucking tokens, bro. Are you mad? That's mad. Atletico Madrid up 10%. Roma up 5%. Paris Saint-Germain up 11%. That's crazy still. What the fuck? Like, I'm guessing that they're using them for some sort of purchases within, like, you know, the club then. Or they're just literally trading them and using capital, like, gaining from that. I'm guessing they're probably allowing people to, like, because that'd be a good idea to let people, like, you know, buy kits and fucking whatever, you know, in the ground shop, you know, the club shop. Well, that's kind of a cool idea. That is, you know, you can help support your club. I don't know how the blockchains work for those particular ones. I'm guessing they're probably quite centralized, I would imagine. So, you know, it's probably not a good investment. But it's kind of cool that you could, like, buy some Atletico Madrid fan tokens and then go to the game and buy some stuff with a crypto at the store. I know it's probably more gimmicky, but it's kind of cool. I suppose it's not if you buy the shit when it's at a decent price and it does double up and then you can go and buy a bunch of kits. You know, you spend £10 and you can manage to buy yourself 100 quid's worth of kit, like, over a period of time because the token goes up, man. That's kind of cool. I didn't realise that there was on Binance. I heard somebody talking about an Atletico Madrid one, but there's Juventus and everything. That's crazy. Alright then, looks like Bitcoin is really struggling to get through that area we've been speaking about, but we do want it. This is the major area. If it could break through here, we'll see probably 50k plus today. But if we can try and find some support on this level, what it's falling back to here, this could actually be all right for us here. But we are building a bit of a wick on the hourly there. That's the only problem. I mean, on the 4 hourly there, that's the only problem. And on the hourly actually. But yeah, if we can find some support there, because that is a previous level. And that was a previous level of resistance for us, wasn't it? This level. So if we can find some support here, we could. It hasn't acted as support any other level, has it though? It's just been pure resistance, hasn't it? So if we can turn in support, if resistance becomes support, that's good support, man. But yeah, like I say, at the minute, Bitcoin's just boring. Like, I know we've seen this like good pump up, but at the minute, there's no indication to see that we're breaking out of this consolidation period. There's no indication that we're really truly breaking the downtrend. Locally, we have done. You know, we've broke out. Where's my fucking, there we go. We've broke out and made a local high, but we still haven't managed to really generate a good higher high. With a nice strong higher low as well. So like I say, you know, at the minute we're kind of just in no man's land. Bitcoin's really not done anything really now for the past 2 hours. Well, it is running out of steam a little bit at the minute. So I do think we are going to... I still think we're seeing 42k. We're still seeing 42k. You know, we're not in the strongest position here as well. And we are slightly overbought as well. Last time we were overbought was just prior to the big pullback. So, you know, it's not like we're in a strong upward trend at the minute. You know, because you can be overbought and overstretched for a while when you're in strong upward movements. But we're not really in a strong upward movement. We're breaking a downward movement. So... yeah, man. I think we're going to see some more downward trend here. You know, we might come back and test this previous trend line and find 44.8, 45 as a level of support, and then attempt to rally again. If we do that, that'll be nice. That'll be a nice strong indication that maybe we might have bottomed out. Personally, like I say, I still think 42k is inevitable. But, you know, it's not really. It's me just chatting shit. But, you know, I think that's where we're going, man. And a lot of indication does point towards that. And, you know, like I say, we're 10 days into this correction, aren't we? It started on, the 21st. We're 10 days into the correction. The last correction lasted almost a month, I think. So, you know, the idea that we're going to... And it could happen. I'm not saying it can't happen. It can definitely happen. I don't think we're going to pull out of this correction as that fast, really. And personally, I hope we don't as well. I want us to have a good period of consolidation, but I want us to trade sideways for a few days on Bitcoin. These sort of moves, great. Love to see it. You know what I'm saying? When we're having that upward push, ADA was starting to slack a bit. It's still kind of slacking because, you know, we've had bearish divergence. ADA needs to consolidate as well. But that's what I want, man. I want Bitcoin to trade sideways for a few days. It's not great for Ethereum because Ethereum's just such a lazy-ass asset at the minute. And I feel bad saying that because ETH's been great to me over the last few months. You know what I'm saying? Since, like, September, ETH's been on a tear, man. But it's just really been underperforming this year, like, the start of this year. It's just, like, you know, we had that nice run. Let's say from the mid towards the end of January, well, the mid-January, let's just say. It really is, you know, been in a nice upward strong trend, but done nothing really exciting. So, yeah. I'd like to see ETH get some movement to the upside, but I'd happily sacrifice ETH blowing just yet for some alts to get some movements. I'd really like to see what alt season's capable of this time, and I know we've seen some insane movements, but you know, like I still think we've got some crazy ass moves to the upside for alts this run just yet, man. Fucking, we got plenty to go, man, plenty to go. So yeah, still in the overall scheme of things. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I think we're going to see 100k, and the closer we get to it, I think maybe even more. Maybe we might see 150k, more conservative, possibly 120. But I do think we're going to see 100k this run. I definitely believe we're going to have at least one more correction, maybe even more. You know what I mean? I know we're at that, like, I think this next run could push us into 70k possibly. I think anywhere between 65 to 75k we'll see another correction. And maybe there'll be longer corrections possibly, or it'll be a slower burn up to those sort of moves for the final run to be like that real explosive move to the upside. That's kind of what we're waiting to see, aren't we? Once that, we got those gains that we were doing in like a week, we're doing them in a day or two. That's when we really know we're getting to critical mass. But at the minute, totally bullish. Got plenty of ground to cover yet. Plenty of upside to come, in my opinion. We're just doing what Bitcoin does, innit? And obviously the rest of the market follows what Bitcoin does to a degree. So the rest of the market's stagnating as well. But everything's just kind of coming back to life today. But like I say, I wouldn't bank on anything too much. I'm not too stressing too much about putting in any trades today on any alts either. Even though some alts are looking really positive, like they're going to have some nice moves, and there's a good chance they'll play out as well. But it could be a really good chance of moves about to play out to the upside on an altcoin. It looks almost certain, although there's never almost certain in this game. You're getting confirmation, you're getting volume confirmation, you're getting multiple indicators showing upside. You know what I mean? The price pressures pushing that way. There's lots of buying pressure. But it only takes Bitcoin to decide to dump, and all of that price pressure and movement can be wiped out in an instant with altcoins. The only thing that really managed to fight against that just lately was ADA. While Bitcoin was dumping, ADA was just like, I'm just going to keep going. But like I say, ADA's been getting a lot of hype just lately, so that's kind of not surprising. And we did break that previous all-time high as well, so there's a lot of upward swell at the minute for ADA. But like I say, short term, we're going to see some price reduction on ADA. I do believe that's going to happen. That's our next move. We'll see some downward price movements before we have a real good bounce on ADA. What's going on, Chase? Where can you buy Cardano? You can get Cardano on Binance. I don't know about Binance US. I think you can get it on Binance US. I could be wrong, though. I think you can get it on Voyager. I think you can get it on Uphold. I'm not 100% sure, to be fair. And it's on Kraken. It's definitely on Kraken. I don't think it's on Gemini and Coinbase, though. But I think majority of other places do have Cardano. I couldn't tell you though 100%, dude. I really only use Binance, and I use Coinbase Pro here and there. But I know it's on Kraken. Is Kraken good? I don't know, dude. I've never used... I know they had engine error issues the other day, which caused the price of ADA, when it dipped down to 80 cents, to show that it went down to 15 cents, which is not great. But things like that happen now and again. Bugs and glitches happen, but I know a lot of people's trades got wiped out because of it. I don't know about service, though, dude. I wouldn't like to suggest, to be fair. If you can get access to... it depends where you are in the world. Bybit as well. Where are you in the world? If you're not in the US, then I'll just use Binance. But if you're in the US, a VPN might be a solution. I know you guys in America do get shafted a little bit in terms of choice regarding exchanges. US, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's on Voyager. I'm pretty sure it's on Voyager. I've heard good things from people who use Voyager. I don't use it myself. I've never used it myself. But don't want to get locked out with the... Yeah, you got to be careful. Like, I know there's a few people who use it and it works for them, but if you get caught when you're cashing it, that's when you'll get fucked, when you don't want that. Maybe try Voyager, dude. It's the other thing, like, being a Brit and, like, never using them exchanges myself. I don't know exactly, dude, if I'm honest. Hey, what's going on, Turntable? How you doing? You don't know if you want to invest in Cardano or not. I'd always make sure you you're sure when you pull the trigger when it comes to an investment, because if you're on the fence about it, there's a reason. You're on the fence about it. Someone's telling you that, and you should. End of the day, I'll never suggest to you what you ever buy if you ever watch me. I'll tell you what I think and what I feel and what I think the market's going, all that sort of stuff, and what I'm doing. But even if you're listening to somebody who really knows the shit, man, like I think sometimes you got to listen to your own gut instinct. You know what your strategy is, you know what you're looking to make, what sort of money you got to play with, what your circumstances are, all that sort of stuff, like, you know what I mean? And always do it, dude. Make sure that when you invest, you're only investing what you're willing to lose. And then at the end of the day, if you lose everything, it's like, okay, that sucks, that was a kick in the teeth, but I'll live to see another day. I'll pay my bills, I'll be able to get to work, I don't know, you'll be able to feed your kids, or do life, whatever, depending on how old you are, you know what I mean? I don't know if this is an all-time high or not. Personally, I don't think it is, but that doesn't mean it's not. You know what I mean? It could well be, but it's hit an all-time high now of $1.49. I do believe that I think ADA's going to $2.50, $3, possibly more. I think it's got possibility, like, depending on how this run goes. I do think $10 a bit out of reach. It could happen, though. We're at 44 billion at the minute. A 10x would mean a $400 billion market cap, which is incredibly large. But if the market grows massively this bull run, which was still at the start of, that's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not probable, but it's definitely possible. But, I think maybe a 5x, I think that's definitely a thing that could happen. But I'm adamant that we're going to see $2.50. I'm adamant. And then I think once we get to that, I think, $3 to $3.50 is definitely plausible for sure. But yeah, I'm going to be buying some more ADA, but I'm waiting for a bit of a correction at the minute. One, with the Mary HardFork coming, I expect the price to pull back just a little bit. I think a lot of people have sell orders in for that. Now, I could be wrong, and we might just see insane hype and it blows, and it might just go insane. Possible. Last fork that Cardano had, though, there was a price pullback. You know what I mean? And we were in a correction then. We're in a market correction now. So if you're going to go with the trend is your friend, the trend's telling me that we're going to see a bit of a pullback. We've had bearish divergence as well on Cardano as well. So, it's inevitable that we were getting this pullback. You've only got to look on the 4-hourly, and you can see that we've got significant bearish divergence on the 4-hourly. I think it's the same on the daily as well. Now, this little correction that we're in at the moment might be enough to negate that, but I somehow still think that we're going to see some more downside. We are at the point of impending price action at the minute. We're going to see a move to the upside or the downside. At the moment, I'm a little bit more inclined to say we're going to see a little bit of downwards price action. So, me personally, I'm going to wait. If we see a downwards price action, my buying area, which I'll be looking to get into, if we go lower, happy days, I'll buy some more at that price because it's even better from a dollar cost average, because I haven't bought in since 67 cents. I started at 20, went in at 30, went in at 40, and went in at 65 to 67 cents, and then I haven't bought in since. But I'm thinking we're going to see $1.16, $1.15. That's the buy area that I'm looking at. I think we're going to see a pullback to there if we do see a correction. Possibly we go lower. It all depends on what happens with Bitcoin as well. But I'd be happy for us to pull back to $1.16, $1.15. That's another 10 cents down. It's like what is it like a 12 to 15% move? Is it something like that? Sorry, 7% move. So it's not even a drastic move. So we could see lower than that. But I'll probably buy in at $1.15, $16, and then if you continue lower, I'll probably buy in again at I'd say about $1.06. And then if you go any lower than that, I'll probably just snap up as much as I can throughout that whole price movement, actually, if I'm honest. Maybe 90 cents. It could happen. I don't think we're going to go below $1 just yet, personally. But, like I say, with the fork happening, it depends. If Bitcoin decided to really dump now, I do think we're going to see 42k on Bitcoin. But if it takes it slow, I think it'll pull back, but it might weather the storm and we might not go below $1. But I think it's totally possible that it happens. You know what I mean? We might see down to this previous high around 95 cents. So it could happen. But I think if you can catch it anywhere below $1.15, I think that's a good area to get back in on ADA. Because like I say, I do believe we're going to see $2 to $2.50. So in my opinion, I think we're going to at least double from the price we're at now. So personally, obviously I'm not doing it myself because I'm dollar cost averaging. It's the best way to do it. You want as much profit as possible. You can never catch the bottoms and never catch the tops, but you work with what you got. I'm going to be waiting for the dip, but at the same time, obviously if it plays out as I want it to play out, I don't even think buying now is a bad idea at all because I still think you're going to double your money in the entirety of the run personally. But you never know. We might have hit the top, and this might be the end. You know what I mean? But I'm inclined to think otherwise. What is so certain we'll get the pullback? Just off the fact of previous trends, the last time we had a fork in Cardano, Cardano pulled back in price. And the last time we had a fork in Cardano, the market was going through a correction as well. We're going through a correction in the market. The fork's coming. I know we've had a bit of a correction now, but we've got bearish divergence across the mark. We do have Instagram's looking a lot better. We are over the 0 mark now, which still doesn't look massively strong on the hourly. 4 hourly still got a decent amount of pressure on the negative 0 line there as well. And like I say, just with the other prior things as well, it makes me think that that's what we're seeing. MACD signal line and the MACD lines coming down together as well. Quite tightly together as well, which to me, like I say, growing histogram negativity. Like I say, along with all of the other things, I think there's going to be a lot of people who will look at the previous trend with Cardano after we've had this massive move to the upside. The fact that usually a massive move to the upside comes with a correction. The market's correcting. The last time we had a fork, the Cardano pulled back. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to have sell orders in around about this sort of this sort of area. I think there's going to be a lot of people waiting to, because it's the old thing, isn't it? Buy the rumor, sell the news. The news is today. So I do think there's going to be a lot of people taking profits or selling entirely in ADA personally. I really do. Which I don't think is a good move personally, because at the minute, I think we're just at the start of Cardano becoming but at the end of the day, some people are looking to try and make quick profits, aren't they? Which I'm totally fine with, do it all the time. But at Cardano, for me, a bit longer hold. But yeah, I'm not too worried anyway. Like I say, I ain't even stressing about it. If we pull back to 50 cents, I'm just buying more. You know what I mean? Because like I say, I think we're seeing $3 at the end of this run on Cardano, so I ain't stressing too much at all, really. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling 115. Just thinking a lot of that would have been hit during the shenanigans over the weekends. I don't know, man. I don't think we've done dumping on Bitcoin personally, though. That's the thing as well. I think if we don't get rejected around this sort of level for Bitcoin, I think we're going to, anywhere between 50 to 55k, we're going to get a decent rejection, man. We're going to come up to test a 200 MA as well soon on Bitcoin. We've got a low volume breakout. It's been a strong breakout as well, considering the volume's not low, but it's not great. Do you know what I mean? We are back into being overbought already on the hourly, which, if we can find support around this sort of area here, then, I'll be more confident to see a little bit more of an upward push. But I do think we're going to get rejected today, and we're going to see. I still think we're going to see 42k. I'm still thinking that 42k is coming, man. I think it is inevitable. I think it's happening, lads. I think it is happening. We're still trading within the daily range as well. Nothing's changed there. You know what I mean? Our daily range, we haven't broke out of it. We've broke out of a descending wedge. That's typical, especially in bullish situations. We've gone into an ascending wedge, which we've now broken out of. But I feel like we're going to capitulate off it. I really do. I feel like we're going to fake out and we're going to see some push to the downside. Fuck do I know? Okay. Hey, dude, man. Yo, fucking I don't fuck all, man. Nothing's going to 42 anymore. I still think we're only 10 days into this correction, 9 days in, man. The last one lasted 17 days. I don't think the correction's done that quick, personally. You know what I mean? But I could be wrong. You know, like, on the daily, man, we've had bearish divergence since the 42k high. So, like, we've had, like, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels like it's inevitable, man. There's so many things lining up to give us a 42k, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've been bearish on the RSI, literally from the 42k peak. Ever since then, everything that's been above that has been lower strength, which the RSI is not great when it comes to strong trends, strong parabolic moves. It's never usually good for indicating when they're happening. But when you've got a super strong parabolic move like that and you're getting that much of a reduction in the RSI, you know what I mean? As well, I don't think we're done. I think we are going to come back down to the 42k again on the weekly. We've been bearish since 42k. This is what we need, though. This is what I say. This is why I want us to come back down to 42k. That'd be brilliant, man. If we can come back down to 42k, it's going to reset us a lot, man. You know what I mean? We're overstretched. We're overbought. We've had lots of bearish divergence. You know what I mean? We've got a... You look at the weekly candle, it's still pretty weak. You know, I know we're at the start of the week. We've still got plenty of time to go. But we definitely by no means have a bullish engulfing candle at all. We'd have a decentish wick there. Not the best, though. Doesn't really show much buying pressure. Like I say, I think, you know, like if you look at the 20 on the weekly, say if we come up to here, you know, it's 43 to 42k. I don't know, man. I just think that's where we're going. And I think it'd be better for the market in general if we do. If not, then, you know, gains quicker, I guess. But at the same time, the longer and bigger the corrections and the more they pull us back and retrace us, the healthier it is in the long run, isn't it? The Scholastic RSI, I did use it a little bit before, but I just prefer to just use straight RSI now. I use a volatility index every now and again as well, but I try and just keep it a little bit more simple and to the things that work for me now. I've started to find the things that really work for me. You know, RSI, volume, certain patterns. I really like the fib fan. Fib fan's great, man. I've even really started. I don't know if you am supposed to, but it's been really working out nicely on reverses as well, which. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Finds it sweet as resistance. Finding it as support. Finding it as support. You know what I mean? And I'll use the volume indicator on a trading view as well. The fixed range volume profile. Give me a good idea where there's, along with obviously the chart, where there's good levels of resistance down to volume. You know what I'm saying? So strong levels. Well, strong levels all through this area. Like I say, if we can get past 52k, we'll see 55k. But I still do think we're going to see a retracement. If we do break through that, though, maybe we can find some support back round about the 47 mark, 46 mark. We could possibly become new support, or possibly around about the 47.8. But I don't know, man. I just feel like the steam's running out a little bit on this move. We've had a really strong bounce, a lot stronger than I expected, if I'm honest. So maybe we do. Maybe we break the downward momentum with his move to the upside. But I don't know, man. I feel it. I feel it in my waters, man. I don't say the first where I've been saying statistic. Yeah, I think it's Scholastic RSI. Anyway, gotta apologise, dude. Man, chat's dead, innit? Fucking carry on, man. I prefer having people to talk to, especially when I'm doing this, because I can bounce off other people's ideas, man. I love to hear other people's viewpoints on stuff, because, like I say, man, sometimes, like, the amount of times I'll be looking at something and I'm just like thinking one particular view, and then I see somebody else's chart and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even spot that pattern coming through there. Or, you know, I just like talking about it in general, man. Dude, my missus don't fucking want to hear about it anymore. I need people to talk to about it. We're trying to break above the zero line on ADA, though. So, you know, we could see an attempt to break through this trend line. If we do, that'd be nice. Maybe find it as support and then try and go for a rally to the upside. I do still think we're gonna. I just think we're not done consolidating in the market in general. You know what I mean? We're at the start of March, man. We're 3 months into the year. You know, if we're gonna run till December, we're gonna need periods. Periods of whatchamacallit, consolidation, decent periods as well. In my roll one anyway. I've already had one today, man. I'm gonna go and pick up some more later. I'm out. I'm smoking a little bit more since my fucking pops went and topped himself, which is obvious, like, but shouldn't really laugh about it, but, like, you know, what else can you do? Man, I swear though, I really wish I'd have got on the lungs last night. I shouldn't have, like, I suppose I've got to have some rules that stop me from getting wrecked, you know. And one has become try not to trade on the weekends. But I should have took both the long on ETH and Bitcoin. I was like, you know, I'm going to take it. It was looking good. And then we started to get even a buy signal on the super trend as well, which I don't do my trades off. You know, if it comes in when I'm seeing other strong moves, you know, it does make me a little bit more bullish. But it came right around just as we came out and back tested as well. This is where I was planning to go in. As we back tested, we got confirmation, we got a buy signal, we back tested the previous resistance, and I was like, I'm going to buy in here, but then I was like, nah, you know what, actually, I'm going to leave it. Let's leave it. It's Sunday, and then, you know, because I'm thinking I'm just going to get wrecked on it, and then we saw a nice 9% rise there. I think Bitcoin's had, like, what, about a 5 to 7% increase as well or something? Oh, man, 11% now. Jeez. Even if we'd have longed here, man, we would have 4%, obviously, 5 to 7x leverage. Would have been lovely. But, you know, I've got to stick to some sort of rules in it, like, you know what I mean? I think without certain strategies, that's, you know, you got to adhere to certain rules, ain't you? You know what I mean? And I'm trying my best to stick to not trading on the weekend, man, because, you know, there is buys here and there, but it just definitely is a little bit more risky. Yeah, man, like, you know, like, we're almost here, man. This would fulfill the move. This really would fulfill the move, man. We have created ourselves a higher high now, but like I say, that's good. If we can come out of this higher high, come down, create ourselves a lower low as the last move of this consolidation, and then really get a volume pushed bounce off 42k then off the previous high. You know, I think that could be really strong, man. You know what I mean? We see a sort of, you know, say we break down here. We come down. I don't want it to be too strong, obviously, because it'll pull everything back. But, you know, if it has to happen, it has to happen. And then we see this kind of move. Because that would then put us into a position as well of building ourselves a nice W pattern right at the bottom of the move. That's what you want, man. That's the sort of moves you want, you know what I mean? That there will give you an indication of a really nice bounce. We kind of sort of did it last time, just without a powerful move to the upside. You know what I mean? We sort of built this kind of ugly W, and then we saw movement to the upside. And I think we'll see something similar. I think with this sort of move, you know, we'll come out to this W. We'll probably maybe see a bit of a retracement here. And then we'll break the neckline, and then strong movement to the upside. And similar sort of thing again. If we fulfill the pattern, we'll maybe have a little bit of a retracement here. Similar sort of move, and then, you know, if we can break through, we'll maybe find ourselves building ourselves a little bit of a peak there. Obviously testing this and then continuing on. That's obviously fulfill that particular pattern, which isn't fucking guaranteed at all. But that's the sort of move I'm kind of thinking now. I think that's sort of what we're going to see. We're going to see a pullback from this 48k. Maybe we push a little bit higher, but I think we really are running out of steam a little bit now. I think this 49k is our rejection level, and then we come back down, create a W pattern, hit the 42k, really find a good bounce, and then we begin the trend reversal then. Which, hopefully this isn't too much of a drastic thing, and maybe we see it over the next couple of days. Maybe, I don't know, let's say by the 3rd, that wouldn't be too bad. We come down to 42k midweek, 42k. And then that will put us in a nice position then, because we would be 12, 13 days since the correction, wouldn't he? Which the last one lasted 19 days, and then we could maybe see, what is it? It was 31 days till we broke out to the previous high. So, if we could start moving out of this now, and it takes us another week or two to break out of this would kind of put us in right about the similar sort of movement, just that we've done it a little bit quicker. I think this will be a shorter move, personally. Was it when we bottomed out? It took us 13 days to bottom out, which, by my reckoning, if we go at sort of that, if we do it by the 3rd, we're talking 10 days. I think that's where we're going. I do genuinely think that's where we're going. Bitcoin gonna hit 50, then crash. I think we're gonna have a pullback, definitely. And 49 seems like a logical area for me for the pullback. But I don't think we're going to crash. I think we're coming back down to 42k, and then we're that's where we're bouncing, man. You know what I mean? We got super bullish price action at the minute. The miners as well. I think big miners have finally stopped dumping Bitcoin as well, which started in December. So all throughout this move up here, we've been having large dumpage of Bitcoin, and we've had large dumpages here as well. We had a big dump here also, I think here as well. So the fact that that's kind of dried up now after correction, that's another bullish indicator as well for me, you know what I mean? Because those dudes are doing that to accrue more Bitcoin. They're not getting rid of the Bitcoin. You know what I mean? They'll sell here, like I said before. They'll open up short positions. So they sell their Bitcoin at 58k. They open up short positions on the way down as well. So they're profiting on this push on the way down. They have trades, longs ready to squeeze those short positions as well. Obviously not right here. They'll have the bottom. They'll have those longs set, those buy orders ready to squeeze the shorts as they come down, as the price action gets met. Along with probably spot buys as well of that prior Bitcoin that they've sold. So they're getting a discount on their Bitcoin, profiting on the way down. And then they have their buy orders set, which they then create liquidity by squeezing out all of those shorts, which they're creating liquidity by squeezing all of the longs at this position. And then they just ride the ride back up. That's how the market makers really make money, guys. That's how they do. They create those situations, those price pullbacks, which allows them to sell, buy back in cheaper, and they get to liquidate people by squeezing them on the way down and then squeezing them on the way back up. So, there's no point in trying to fight market makers in those situations. Let the moves play out and then, go from there. But as well, if we do play out a sort of move like that as well, if we do, just looking at that there, if we do have a retraction a little bit early on, we could maybe see ourselves building a head and shoulders. Obviously, no point in trying to guess that at the minute. We're not even getting into any sort of W pattern yet. But I'd like to say, from all the price action that's happening, I think that's where we're going. I think we're going to retrace, and then we're going to bounce. And then, if we do retrace as well, that'll be even more bullish, because we'll be building ourselves a nice W pattern at the bottom of the consolidation, along with what could possibly turn out to be a cheeky head and shoulders as well that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's our most likely price move. But this is total speculation. You think Bitcoin 100k by this time next year? I think Bitcoin will be lower than that this time next year, but I think it will hit 100k this year. I do think we're going to see 100k Bitcoin this run, personally. That between 90 to 120k is where I see this run topping out. People are talking about 320k, and if you extrapolate information back from prior runs, that does kind of add up. The 200k, that's all definitely possible. I think we're more likely going to see about 100k, but I'm a little bit more conservative. I definitely think we could see higher than that, and I wouldn't be shocked if we did see a 200, 300k Bitcoin. I genuinely wouldn't. It's the ability's there to happen. The market, everything's there to make that happen. And we're in a perfect storm at the minute. Not only with the massive, well, say massive, the more mainstream adoption of Bitcoin. Yet it's still far from being mainstream, but mainstream starting to take note now. Institutional investors are coming in at the same time as we're in a massive economic downturn, inflation, money printing, a pandemic. It's like it's all built for Bitcoin to just thrive. This is what Bitcoin was built for. It was built for financial crises, basically. It was it was created to combat inflation, and we're we've had what, a quarter of all the dollars ever printed in the last 12 months. We're in a perfect storm for something like Bitcoin to explode. So I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if we see 150k plus Bitcoin. But my conservative estimate is we see 100k. We see a 100% from here. But that's easily achievable in my eyes. I think it's where we're going. This is just a correction. We've only seen, this is our second correction. 2017, like I say, we saw at least 6 30% plus corrections. So when you think about it, we're into our second one now. We're kind of lining up like previous runs. This is one thing that I keep going back to as well. For me, this is where we are right now, in my personal opinion. This is us. We had our previous correction. This was 42k. Obviously, this isn't. This is the 2017 bull run. The trend's your friend till the end, though. And I do think we're kind of sort of repeating what we did in 2017. Obviously, not to the exact number. And of course, we've only got 3 data entry points when it comes to the Bitcoin runs at the top. And that's here, here, and here. We have a lot more data entry points regarding our lows and our consolidationary periods and such. But I definitely do think that's where I think we're going. I think this is us right now. We're correcting. This is why I do believe we're going to come back down to 42k. We're going to follow a similar sort of trend as before. And then we're really going to see some serious price action to the 100k mark and possibly beyond. Do we break the cycle? Do we break the logarithmic regression curve? It's possible. Do we end up going into a super cycle? And by that basically means breaking this cycle of these typically being our highs. It's possible. It's definitely possible. We've got way more institutional money than we've ever had. I know that people were arguing this in 2017, but, we can see now we didn't have Tesla buying $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. We didn't have MicroStrategy with Michael Saylor just throwing his fucking cash at Bitcoin. We didn't have, even though they've took the money out of Bitcoin and put it into Ada and Dot, we didn't have Dubai investment groups doing what they were doing. There's big money coming into Bitcoin, and there's rich individuals really getting involved in Bitcoin now. You've seen banks genuinely talk about having custodial services for Bitcoin, for crypto, allowing transactions to happen. To facilitate those transactions. We've got PayPal, you know what I mean, Visa, MasterCard. There is all of the things there built for Bitcoin to do a super cycle. I don't think we are going to see a super cycle. I think we're going to see a normal cycle. But, that's why I'm bullish that we are going to see 100k because it just, it all adds up when you look at everything. Does that mean we're going to? Doesn't. No. This is crypto. Any investment is not guaranteed. Crypto is even more or less guaranteed than your typical asset because of it being volatile. But that's where the beauty of crypto is. It's risky as hell, but the reward can be like faster and larger than pretty much anywhere else, really, when it comes to putting your money. Really, apart from winning the lottery, or winning in a casino, and I'm not comparing that to crypto. It is if you just throw money around randomly and you don't use trends and TI and previous history and fundamentals and all of the stuff that comes along with trying to be successful in trading. You're pretty much gambling at that point. But you know, you can invest in stocks and you can invest in companies and stuff like that. And of course, you can invest in startups that can make you insane gains rapidly. That's a thing that can happen, of course. But when it comes to investing in assets and commodities, like crypto's the best place if you want to make insane gains. It's also the best place if you want to make insane losses. You know, that can happen. You know, you can lose everything at the drop of a hat in crypto. But at the end of the day, like, you know, you gotta speculate to accumulate, ain't you? And that's what crypto's all about, man. At the minute, it's mainly speculation. We're starting to move into the phase zone now where we're going a little bit beyond speculation, though. You know, Bitcoin is a speculative asset, and until it really, and even then, it's still a speculative asset. You know, until it really gets used by governments and used in that sense and backed maybe, and maybe gets linked to the dollar and maybe becomes a store of value along with gold. Even then, still, it's a speculative asset. Where we're starting to get things like now, like Cardano, you know, like Polkadot, like Ethereum, which are still speculative assets in a sense, but they are also ecosystems that provide services. And you can get to the point where we're going to have tokens and protocols and projects within the crypto space that are not just going to be speculative assets, because they're actually going to bring real world value to the real world, that you can value the asset on said things it brings to the world. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like I say, I am incredibly bullish on Cardano, because I do think Cardano is going to end up creating an ecosystem, obviously like Ethereum's, that's going to, you know, actually be a place for transactions to happen, other assets to flourish, DEXs to come, dApps, you know, and with this stuff that's going on with the partnerships that they're possibly having with like African nations, you know, we're going to see agricultural issues fixed, people getting access to finance that they wouldn't actually get access to. I think that is one of Charles's main aims when it comes to decentralized finance, is bringing bringing banking to the unbanked, to the underserved, because I think there's like 7 billion people on this planet. 4 million people are banked, 3 million people are not. So basically there's 3 million people live on this planet who don't have access to a bank account, who don't have access to the internet, who don't have car insurance, a liability insurance, or house insurance, or even own deeds to the land they live on. You know, these are the kind of people who could, you know, a war could happen and then they can come back to their house. Somebody else is living in their house and they've got no proof that that's their house. They've got no access to liquidity, no access to equity, because it's a cash economy and these people are underserved, and there's such a massive, massive market that's worth trillions for these underserved and underbanked people. That's what I think ADA's really going after. And I think there's going to be some incredible dApps and tokens built on ADA that are really going to help that happen. Because a lot of people are talking about there's no smart contracts, and that comes next month, I believe. But people are still going to be able to create native tokens on Cardano without the need for smart contracts. And a lot of people, I think, don't get that. Like, people keep talking about, well, where's the projects? I suppose the coming months will be a thing where we really see where the projects are now and what Cardano is capable of. And when we've got these different tokens and different projects and protocols and DEXs and dApps and stuff running on Cardano with more efficiency, faster speeds and lower prices, we'll genuinely see then if it actually is what it's cracked up to be. You know what I mean? Like I say, I'm bullish as fuck on ADA, but at the same time, I'm not one of these moon boys that's going to be like, that's it, man, it's the perfect thing, it's going to be amazing. So far, we're getting an incredibly strong base, and I like that's what they've done with Cardano. They haven't rushed to get it out to be the next big thing. They're building a stable ecosystem that I think is going to be... I think it's going to be one of the pillars of the crypto sphere for the next 10 years or so. I think it's going to be one of the coins that stays in the top 5, top 10 for the coming years. You know, of course, there's going to be ebbs and flows in which is the biggest... Well, Bitcoin's going to be that for a while, but, you know, which is the second, third, fourth, and fifth, and who's in the top 10. That's always going to ebb and flow, but I do think that ADA's going to stay in that top 10 for the foreseeable future. And, you know, I've got ETH. I want to see ETH make money. But at the same time, I'm starting to get to the point where maybe Cardano flips ETH. You know, it's all dependent on the next 2 years, really, on how much uptake happens on ADA and how much easier it is and cheaper it is for people. If people can get to the point where they have as broad an ecosystem as they do on Cardano as they did on Ethereum, you know, if you're getting cheaper gas fees, if it's more efficient, if you can do exactly what you were doing before, why wouldn't you switch? You know what I mean? Like, and ETH 2.0 is still well away by the looks of things. And I still think even with that, I think ETH's just got some fundamental issues that I think are going to be with ETH for a long time. I hope not, because I'm an ETH. I've got a nice bag of ETH. You know what I mean? It's one of my biggest holdings. Bitcoin, ETH, and ADA are my biggest holdings. So, and like ETH's been my most profitable asset over the last 6 months as well. So I love Ethereum for that. I'm never like one of these loyalists who's like, oh, that's it, man. You know, even if I'm in debt, fucking XRP, baby, Doge to the moon. Like, I ain't that guy, but I love an asset when it's made me money. The second he stops making money, it's like, you can fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, end of the day, I'm here to make money, man. I do believe in projects like Ethereum and ADA and Polkadot and Bitcoin and the whole change that they could bring to the financial system and the greater world as well. I believe in all of that, but I'm here to make money, man. You know what I mean? I want the world to change. I want us to have a democratic, fairer financial system. But if it doesn't change, as long as I can make my money and get out, I'll be happy with that. That's why I'll always, when it comes to investing, and I think that's how you invest. There's too many investors out here who are acting like, you know, the moral thing is to choose the right coin. It's like, bro, I'm going to choose the coin that makes me fucking profit, man. End of. I don't care if it's a vaporware, empty ghost chain, shit coin. If it's going to make me money, I'm going to make money on it. Simple. You know what I mean? And I think that's the best way to be, man. The best way to be. Let's have a look what you guys are saying. You bought it 45k. I only have like $100 in Bitcoin, so I wouldn't make much if it went to 100k. Yeah, I think if you're buying, like, it's never too late to buy Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, for me, unless you got in super early, and there still is possibility to make lots of profit off Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's like gold, man. You know, it's a speculative store of value of like, right, I have this in case shit hits the fan, I lose my job, I'm pretty much on the point of homelessness, I've got this store of value asset that's been increasing over the years, and I need it now, and it's going to save me, kind of thing. Like, you know, that's the way I'm treating my Bitcoin. I'm going to continually keep building up my Bitcoin just for that, you know what I mean? So like, I don't think it's ever stupid to buy Bitcoin, and I know this might sound counterproductive, but I don't think it's stupid to buy, and I wouldn't suggest to do this. Of course, you want a dollar cost average, you want to try and make profit, but if you're looking at Bitcoin as a store of value for the long term, I don't even think it's stupid. Say Bitcoin gets to 100,000 this run. If you bought Bitcoin at $99,999, yeah, it might suck in a year's time when Bitcoin, I don't know, let's say we have a 50% retracement, it's back to 50 grand, yeah? And you lost 50% of your money off that trade, right? Yeah, that sucks. But in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you're not going to necessarily want to worry about that, because Bitcoin's going to continue to gain value in the coming years. I do believe we're going to have $1 million Bitcoin. So, like, if you bought Bitcoin at 100k this run and then we dump, I think in a few years' time, 10, 20 years' time, you're going to be at 10 times the value. Obviously, if you put 100 quid in, that's not life-changing money. But, you know, if you're stacking money over the years, you know what I mean? And then it becomes 10 times its value when you're about to retire. Happy days, man. That to me, that's what Bitcoin's for. Because Bitcoin is that one that I do believe, unless something becomes to usurp Bitcoin, which is possible, if Bitcoin becomes accepted like gold as like a store of value that's finite, you know, it's always going to be a store of value. Exactly, turntable, exactly. And for me, of course, we're going to have pullbacks in Bitcoin. Like, you've only got to look at this. Like, this is a thing that sometimes when you're feeling a little bit stressed, especially with Bitcoin, with other assets, not so much. You know what I mean? Like I say, I'm bullish on a lot of assets, but they don't really have so much the same And a lot of assets have increased in value, but with Bitcoin, there's a reason. There's mathematics behind it. Like, you know, it's not just there's people hyped up about it kind of thing, and that's just looking at Bitcoin in its entirety. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't want it on Binance, so let's go BTC to USD. We've not got Kraken. All right. See, I've been doing my little squiggles around here. So, okay. So, these lines here, previous highs, right, with Bitcoin. Now, if you bought here on this previous high, you probably felt like shit when it was here. But when it was at its bottom in 2019, you probably weren't feeling like shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you bought this high here, when it bottomed out in the bear market, you're probably feeling like shit. You're fucking not now. You know what I mean? Like, and there's one thing that you can look at with Bitcoin over its lifetime. Is all right, it has pullbacks, but what is it doing the entire time? What is Bitcoin doing the entire time? It's going fucking up. Do you know what I mean? The overall macro trend is that Bitcoin goes up in value. You know, and people say Bitcoin's risky. Of course, Bitcoin's risky. It depends on what you're doing and how much money. If you're putting all your life savings into Bitcoin here, you're probably going to fuck yourself, because if you're doing that, you probably can't wait another 4 years to make that money back. You know, if you'd have put all your life savings into Bitcoin here, you know, like I say, you'd have been fucked. But if you'd have somehow managed to carry on, you'd have been loving life right now. And I'm not saying never do that. You should never put more than what you can. What you can afford. But this is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? This is like when you look at the macro on Bitcoin. You know, it's a lot more comforting. You know, because like think about it, say you buy a bunch of Bitcoin now. Yeah, maybe at the end of this run it's gonna sting, but if you look at the trend, you know, in a couple of years' time, you're going to be totally happy with your purchase, and that's going to be even before the heights of the next run. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's the thing, man. Like, when it comes to Bitcoin purchase, that's one thing you've always got. That's why there's people who say, just, dude, no price is too expensive to buy Bitcoin. I'm not, and I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, and at the minute, I'm not necessarily doing that with Bitcoin because I'm trying to stack other things. But the reason I'm stacking other things is inevitably to buy more Bitcoin. That's the plan. I want to make as much money on alts to put back into alts, to then make major money, but then to take major chunks of that money and put it into Bitcoin. Then that's my plan. My plan is to get as much Bitcoin as possible, and obviously building cash at the same time, because you know you got to live until we get a Bitcoin or crypto world. I'm not one of these people who's like, I'm never taking my money out, man. It's like, well, I've got to pay my rent, I've got to pay my car insurance, and until I can pay my car insurance Bitcoin, I'm gonna have to fucking cash out. You know what I mean? And hopefully that's the thing that changes soon. And I think, you know, obviously things like Cardano are going to allow that to become more of a reality, because it's DeFi and it's the ecosystems built on things like Ethereum. They're going to allow us to do that, to be able to, you know, hop on your phone and be like, bum, 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 order food and you've paid in crypto, you know what I mean? Or like freaking, and not having to do it like back in the day, that dude with Domino's and get a gift card. You can literally just, right, I'm paying with 5 freaking whatever, you know what I mean? And you're good to go. That's what we were going for, but obviously we're not there just yet. Yeah, see, Doge for me, I love it, because Doge is a great coin to make money on, and Doge is one of the most, people say it's volatile. It's fucking volatile, but it's a predictable, cyclical coin. And I say to everybody, if you're playing in the crypto market, in my opinion, buy some fucking Doge in the bear market, man. You know what I mean? You can't go wrong with it, because it's going to pump. It does. And it's typically a good indicator as well that alt season's coming as well. When fucking bringing my lines back. You want to delete him and I'll delete him. You want to put him back. I've lost what I was saying. But yeah, it's usually a good indicator as well of alt season's coming. You know, so like, you getting around anywhere below 2 cent mark on Doge, you're laughing. Like, I wouldn't be buying Doge now personally. You know, I bought Doge here, I got out here, I got back in around about 4.5 cents, and I got back out at 8.2 cents. I made a nice little bit of change on Doge, right? But for the people who bought it here, obviously, with the drops you've had now, depending on the sort of money, if it's money that you don't need to necessarily worry about, it's probably best to just hold on to it, hoping that we see another 8 cents again. I don't know if we will, personally, because a lot of this was, like, we would have still had this pump, but I believe it would have been more in the realms of, like, 6 cents, personally, 5 cents, if it wasn't for all of the Wall Street bet hype, and then, obviously, the Elon hype. And even with all of that, and subsequent Elon hype afterwards, we really haven't had great movements. But, you know, I'm not, that's not to say that we won't see any more Doge upwards price action. Because if we do, let's make ourselves, let's chart it out as we go, guys. Let's chart it out. We are crossing from wicks to candles, but, you know, could be argued that we've actually broke that resistance line there and sort of made it actual support as well, off a descending triangle, which we broke down, bounced off the 200 MA, and had a nice surge there, which has sort of become support, broke down, support off the trend line. Really, that now is kind of a little bit of a resistance line for it, isn't it, really, to be fair? It was previous support. Usually, something that's previous support typically does make resistance. You know, it's usually the same. If you're coming into a situation, you're building yourself like nice levels of support. You know, you're building yourself nice levels of support on the way up. When you come back down, they'll typically act as levels of resistance to attempt to get back through. You know what I mean? But, like, I wouldn't touch Doge with a barge pole at the minute, you know what I mean? Hey, you know, if you got a little bit of extra that you're into worried about, you could maybe put a punt in now, but it would be a punt. You know, we have made a double bottom there, though, on Doge. You know, we have made a double bottom on Doge, you know, like, you know, but, like, we've been consolidating for a long-ass period, and we've not really seen anything out of it. So I wouldn't totally write Doge off just yet, but I wouldn't be buying into it now. If you're already in, then you might, if you bought in here, maybe you might see 8 cents again. I doubt you will. I think you might see like 7 cents possibly. It seems like Elon's got bored of it now, doesn't it, really? So I think there's still potential upside there for Doge, but I don't think it's going to see any previous all times. So, you know, you might just see a 6-7 cents Doge again before a dump, or maybe, you know, a couple of attempts at it and then they get weaker and weaker and he just trails off throughout. But it has had a lot stronger of a show up than I expected, if I'm honest. Doge has. I've got to give it that. But Doge is one of them. It's a scalper, man. You get in, like what I'll be doing, and I you know, I don't suggest anybody do it because I'm never suggesting what you do with your money, because this is not financial advice. This is just chilling and chatting about crypto. But what I'll be doing is, once this runs over and we see these sort of prices again, I'll be buying some more Doge. You know what I mean? Obviously, we might not come back down as low as that, because there's a lot of hodlers now who might hold the price up through the bear market higher than what it maybe would go. But I think there'll be people who will hold because I'll just hold and wait for the next pump. But I think there'll be a lot of retail, once it gets down to 2 cents and maybe below, they'll be like, dude, this ain't never coming back up, because they won't actually research, because there's a lot of people I've seen just seem to refuse to research and just believe everything that's told to them. You should always do research, man. Listen, fair enough, listen to people who are more what's it than you. You know, maybe know a bit more, or even people who don't, like, you know what I mean? It's always good to listen to other opinions, especially in this sort of space, because you might find something that benefits you, and that's at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, aren't we? But yeah, for me personally, I'll be waiting for Doge to come back down to these prices, man, and I'll be buying back in, because it's going to come back down. It's just when that happens. What did you say? Phantom's back up 55% again, is he? That's had a good bounce, because he did have a real, fucking hell, 55. Did have a real fucking savage dip, didn't he? Man, it's had a worse dip than I thought, actually. It's only at 60 cents now. Fucking hell. Jesus, man, that pullback was rough, wasn't it? Fuck, bro. 87 cents. All the way down to 38 cents. Jeez. 56 correction. I thought my RSR correction was rough. What was my RSR correction? That was like about, what's it though? That was about 50% as well. I got RSR as well. When I first looked at that, I was like, oh shit, it's over 50%, bro. RSR's up 27% today though. I am looking to, dude. I'm looking to start doing my own artwork on NFTs, actually, because I do artwork. I haven't done any for a while, but I am a decent artist, actually. So I am planning to create some NFTs myself. I might just do some one-off NFTs, like. So yeah, RSR saw a 55% correction as well. RSR's had 63% up as well from that bottom as well. But RSR had already started to correct. RSR was on a quite heavy correction, like I says, before the 21st, and then it dumped. I think it was getting ready to break this trend line, though, RSR was, and continue and attempt to go for this high again. But then obviously Bitcoin fucking, did what Bitcoin usually does and gets violent with the little ones and starts slapping them around, you know what I mean? RSR got slapped. Yeah, Phantom was on fire. CK, I've been hearing a lot about CKB, man. I ain't looked into it. The only reason I've been hearing a lot about CKB is that one stream I watch where them a bunch of charlatans. And I'm guessing it's been having good moves, because the reason they only talk about a coin when it's like pumped 100%, because they're all over ADA now. Cheeky bastard was on his stream, yeah. I've been preaching about ADA to him for a while, and at 30 cents, I was telling him about it. I heard the cheeky fucker on stream last night saying, I've been telling people about ADA since 30 cents. I was one of the first to talk about it. I was like, you lying fucker. You lying fucker. It's had a big pullback, hasn't it? It pulled back with Bitcoin and then fucking rallied to fuck, didn't it? It's created a higher low as well, though, so that was a serious rally, though, wasn't it? I mean, that came out the fucking blue, yeah. After that bottom out, how much did it move altogether? Jesus, man, 134%. In what? That was like in a couple of days, yeah. 2 days, man. Jeez, that was a move. Saying that though, Ada's been making moves like that, hasn't he? No, you had your retracement here. It retraced back down to a previous high as well. Because that's typically what markets like to do in bull runs. You break your highs, you come back, you retest them, strong support. Had that insane move to the upside, bit of a blow off top there as well, which is to be expected. Came back down, bounced off the EMA, broke down through the 20-day then. It's now finding the 20-day and the EMA is a bit of resistance there. Volume's not too bad on prior volume before this big run. What's it looking like on the hourly? Let's get this on full screen. Going at the bottom, rolled the whole thing and then back down. Did you roller coaster that shit? I got around 67 cents and I thought it was lucky if it sold at 80 and rebought at 90. So what's this currently sitting at? What I sent? Even though it's not really a good watch it because it was such a shocking move. Let's have a look on the old Fibidibidioski, shall we? Let's see what our potential retracement is back to the upside. Let's go off this local low. Yeah, I gotta break through this EMA first, didn't we, man? Break through this EMA first and then 1-1 might be a next target. Interesting. Definitely hidden bullish divergence on those bottoms on the hourly. I don't know where this is. If we do have a little bit of a retracement, we could be building a little bit more of a hidden bullish divergence there. So we could maybe see a little bit of a short-term pullback here and then have another attempt in the next hour, couple of hours, to rally through this resistance here and attempt to push up beyond here. I think if we can break through here and find some support here, that's a critical movement for me. I think if we can break through here, find support on this 0.011 level, I think that'll be good. That will. I might even have to come back and have a little look at that myself as well, actually. Yeah, look at that as well, man. That fits nicely into our fucking. You know, that fib line fits nicely into that prior high as well, doesn't it? So that to me seems like a logical number that you've got to break there. I think we might see something like this, make a higher low, and then attempt to rally through, find some support here, and then continuation of the move to the upside as well. And that would fulfill a nice pattern as well there, you know what I mean? Similar sort of pattern to what I was talking about with Bitcoin. That's the kind of pattern we want to see fulfilled on Bitcoin, really. You know what I mean? That's kind of what's wanting to play out there, really. So yeah, man, I think if you could break through here, find support here with a decent bit of volume, that'll be looking quite bullish, actually. CKB quite new. I don't know anything about him, dude. I don't know anything about him. I'll have to have a little bit of research myself later. I can't even, like I say, all I can go off here is just price action, which, you know, obviously it'll give you a good indication of what's going on. But, you know, fundamentals are a big thing, aren't they? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I can look at the Doge chart, and I look at the Doge chart, and I'm like, well, yeah, that looks rough. But then I'm like, well, if that was a different asset, though, you know, if that was, like, ADA or something, I'd actually be, like, looking at that being like, ooh, good time to buy. So, yeah, definitely. But, yeah, if we could see this sort of price action now, here, if we could see a little bit of something like this, you know, break through this level here, come back down, back test it, find support, and then continuation to the upside, you know, that'll probably be a really good area to buy in then. I think, you know, we'll be seeing a nice move. Obviously, if you want to get in earlier, you can do, but anywhere around this sort of area, then it'll be a good indication that we're going to see some. I definitely, personally, for me, I'll be waiting for that confirmation. Breakout, test it, confirm support, good amount of volume, everything else looking good. That's a buy for me. But need to wait to see complete that pattern first at the minute, you know what I mean? Until it fulfills that pattern. I'm agnostic. But it doesn't look terrible. Adding crazy fucking pump. I'd like to know what caused that. That's MFT. You've already got these. Oh yeah, if you're already in, man, fucking innit. If you rolled it all the way up, then I should imagine you're in profit now. Yeah, I would think. Yeah, depending on where you got in. Like if you're in anywhere around here, you're fucking happy days at the minute. Yeah. That would have been a real nice buy to get in there. That's just under 8 cents mark. Delay's a killer. It's because I'm on my restream, man. I'm probably going to switch off that for my evening stream tonight and have put the super low latency on. Bitcoin pretty much rejecting off where we expected the rejection to happen. It's not the strongest level of resistance, so it could still break through that. But rejecting right where I said it was, if we could fulfill this pattern, that would be incredibly bullish in my opinion. If we come back down, retest 42k, that then becomes our bottom. It would tie in just on the trend line as well, guys. 42k on the trend line. Play out the W pattern. Bullish as fuck, man. Bullish as fuck. That's why I'm still super bullish on Bitcoin, man. I think we're going to see some explosive moves over the next few days, man. I think we might be looking at getting back to a new all-time high in around 5 or 6 days, maybe towards the end of the week. Maybe Friday or something. We might see it happen. You know what I mean? Like I say, we could still see some possible upside though, but I don't think we're breaking 55k in this particular move. I do think we're going to see some more downward trend. Now, maybe we don't pull all the way back down to 42k and 44k becomes the new bottom. Possible. Still would play out this pattern just nicely. Wouldn't give us so much of a strong base, in my opinion, as 42k. I think 42k will give us a real solid bounce. Like, I really do. It's a prior all-time high. It's building a nice pattern. It's fitting our downward trend line. It will give us a nice, real good breakout. But if we break out, like say that 44 level, that'd be great as well. You know what I mean? We pull the pattern a little bit shorter, and we kind of do this instead. That'd be awesome. We might even, like say, try and break out of this. That's possible as well. We're still, like say, only kind of halfway through this sort of move. So maybe we do play something like this. We break down, and we see this sort of action, and then we attempt to rally back up, or possibly we do break down, and we follow this sort of pattern. Maybe maybe to the 42, maybe to the 44, and then we attempt to rally up. We try to go for the high. We break down. And then, similar sort of thing happens again. I do still think we're going to see lower prices, though. I just think it would be a healthier move for us, and it'll give us more strength towards the upside as well. And obviously, nice increase in volume. Volume's not too bad at the moment, though. You know what I mean? I do think we're going to need a little bit more than that, though. But not too shabby. Bitcoin's kind of doing what it's expected at the minute, really. It's not doing anything surprising, so I wouldn't even stress over it, really, guys. And even if you see a little bit more downwards trending price action, I wouldn't stress over it. End of the day, if you're going to be in the crypto space for any period of time, guys, you got to expect there's going to be days you're going to wake up, and you lose 20-30% of your entire value of your wealth obviously wealth that's invested. You're going to find that happen. You know what I mean? Obviously, when Bitcoin's down, the entire market's down. I'm not even a massive investor, but, it was a kick in the teeth when I woke up and it's like, fuck, Bitcoin's down, fuck, Ethereum's down. Oh, shit, everything's down apart from ADA. You know what I mean? Like, I think I lost like 30% of my value overnight. Majority of it's back up now. Obviously, ETH and Bitcoin is still down. But a good portion of everything else is getting back to where it was. But, you could have weeks, a month or two of gains wiped out overnight, over a couple of days, and then it takes you a good couple of weeks to get back to where you was. But like I say, I'm confident that's where we're heading. And as long as you're rocking with good assets at the moment, of course, there's going to be coins that don't perform how that you want them to. But that's where I say, there's fundamentals and there's pumpamentals, and you can't do with either. You can have pumpamentals without fundamentals, like Ivan would say, but at the same time, fundamentals with pumpamentals leads to better pumps. It's just, you got good community, hype, good price action, along with fundamentals. That's the trifecta, man. That's why I say why I'm so bullish on ADA. You get community, hyped for it. You've got a developer that's like super community orientated, either love him or hate him. There's no denying that he's one of the most proactive devs out there in talking to the community. So you got the community, you got a proactive dev, you've got viral activity now. It's really starting to get out there. People are starting to talk about Cardano, and even to add insane price action and fundamentals. You've got just so many things that are just working for ADA's benefit. RSR, another good project. Oh, actually, let's have a look at HBAR as well, actually, because that's another thing I've got a bit of. Not massive amounts, got a little bit of RSR and a little bit of HBAR as well. I think HBAR is going to be another product chain as well over the coming years. It's going to have some potential, you know what I mean? Where are we? This is where the dump happened. Not too bad actually. Really, is it? What was the pullback there? 37% on a week, just over 37% on a week. It has recovered quite nicely on now, just fighting through the EMA band currently, which is good. So I've come get through there, find some support. Could go from wicks, I guess. Let's do a candle run as well. Descending triangle, really, ain't it, man? All the way from prior support there. Does that make sense? Just after this initial move, really, this was a real first level of support, wasn't it? After that little bit of a pullback. So yeah, definitely in a. We'll pick and choose our trend lines there. We'll do a candle trend line. We'll do a wick trend line. Both might show themselves as actually being respected. To be fair, might find some sort of support here, and then attempt to rally, and then rejection and come back down. Because people worry too much sometimes about going from wick to wick. To at the end of the day, a wick's just a candle. It's just a candle on a shorter time period. You know what I mean? So yeah. If we go to the hourly, we're definitely finding some support on the trend line there, aren't we? Had a fake out, came back down, real back down, but that was on the 25th, wasn't it? Then actually, so yeah, I think it's just it came out of this move a little bit too quick, really, for everything. It really hadn't consolidated enough. It broke out, faked out, totally fucking collapsed. Consolidated in kind of like a bit of a wake off here, collapsed again, found support at that previous bottom on the 4 hour, and now we're currently rallying. Obviously, Bitcoin being a big factor of that, but we're currently rallying, not looking too shabby at all. Got a nice double bottom there on the 4 hourly. That's very, very nice. Breaking the previous resistance trend line as well, so good. Exactly, man. See, if you fuck up, it's blame me. Here's another thing I wanted to show as well, guys. Just little things. I've been meaning to like try and keep these up on stream. I'm gonna have some folders as well where I'll distribute into Discord as well. If you guys, just with some images, some points regarding certain patterns and stuff like that you can just take time to sit and look at sometimes, because this is one of the things that really helped me when I very first started, was just really learning to spot bearish and bullish divergences, whether they be regular, hidden or exaggerated, regarding RSI and price points. Definitely use these things for your advantage, guys. They will help you out a lot, man. Obviously these things are not going to be like, this is a one-stop shop of, right, that's happening, that means you're going down. What you want to do is you use that indicator along with your other indicator, your MACD, let's say, via your patterns that are building, volume, confirmation on other things, trend lines, maybe other indicators, whatever you're using. Obviously, everybody's got a different strategy. I typically RSI and MACD for my off-chart indicators, even though they kind of are similar sort of signal indicators, they work well for me. And then obviously I use a EMA bands from the 25-week to the 55-week. I use a 200 moving average. I'll also use a 20 moving average as well. And then, adding all those up together, guys, really helps you start to come to a bit. You can never be 100%, but if you've got 5 indicators or 3 indicators or 2 indicators along with some other stuff telling you that this is what is likely to happen, it's more likely than not. You know what I mean? It might not happen. It might do the opposite. It's trading. You know what I mean? But this is why when it comes to TA, you use the weapons in your arsenal, so you're not just chucking money down on red or black. Because at the end of the day, if you're just looking at stuff and you're like, right, that looks good, I'm going to buy it. That's all you're doing. But if you add a bunch of this stuff in, it's almost like you're counting cards. You know what I mean? You're giving yourself advantages against the house. Yeah, they're good moving average lines to have. A lot of people have them everyone's got different. That's the thing. Everyone has got a different strat. Dude, I know there's some people out there that this is how they trade. Yeah, they'll have the market up. Yeah, they'll have the volume up, and they trade mainly off the freaking depth. You know what I mean? Where, hey, if it works for you, then, have at it. It's not particularly my way to trade, but you can see indications of okay, there is a bit of a sell wall at 50k. There's another decent one at around 50, just short of 51. Up here at the minute, buy orders are kind of matching the sell orders, but you get to this sort of area, probably going to find Or is it? But like, it's not my way. I'm not too savvy on trading like that. But you know, everyone's got a different way, and just because somebody trades like that doesn't mean they're wrong. There's trading patterns and techniques that are statistically proven to be more successful, but that doesn't mean applying them to you is going to make you more successful. And there might be an indicator that 90% of traders hate, and you use it, you're like, I fucking love this. You know what I mean? Like, I know there's a lot of people that hate the MACD, and I'm like, shit, MACD's shit, man. Why are you using RSI? MACD, like, I know traders, like, I've literally watched them, and they'll talk about how fucking shit the RSI is, and how it's always wrong and stuff. And I think it just depends on how you interpret it as well, because at the end of the day, it's like the market is. It's like a painting in a sense, if this makes sense. Tell me if it doesn't. But it's like a painting. It's like it's not that it's an arbitrary this is it kind of thing. Obviously the only thing that is price action. Price action's a fact, that's the thing. It might be slightly different on markets, but it's a fact. But what you see from the market is different. Like, I might see a totally different pattern building at a particular time point than what you might. And they might both be there, whereas one might play out more than the other. And it's just all what's it, man. Market Cipher. It looks like a really good indicator, man, but it's too fucking expensive. Like, all those sort of indicators really do. They do give what's it, but like, basically, like, Market Cipher is kind of like a mix between like a super trend, a MACD, and an RSI, all kind of just put together, basically. You can kind of come to the same sort of indications by manually putting things together, because that's at the end of the day, they're just scripts based on moving averages, you know, price point action, strength indications, all that sort of stuff. So they kind of are just like these amalgamated together and put into, I suppose, a little bit more of a user-friendly, front-facing, what's it? Like, I've got an indicator on TradingView, which is kind of similar to Market Cipher. It's obviously not as good, but it kind of does what Market Cipher does. It's called Cipher_B_free on TradingView, which you can check out, like, you know what I mean? I think there's plenty of indicators out there. Like, there's another YouTuber I've been watching, because I was contemplating buying Market Cipher because it does look sick, but I think you can get just as much indication from Market Cipher if you just learn TA a little bit better, you know what I mean? Because like say, you can have these indicators on TradingView, which give you buy and sell orders. They're not always accurate, and they're typically better in trends rather than ranges. Like, say, this super trend that I use, you know, it's good for trends. You know, like, it caught this trend nicely here, reversal of the pattern, good purchase there. You know, but obviously we're in a bull run at the minute, so the momentum's typically up. It struggles on the sell patterns on a typically up market, and I think things like Market Cipher and that suffer the same as well. I think when you're in a strong trend, like either a bull run or a bear run, or a bear market, it'll find the buys in a bull run really well, but it won't find the sells so well, or it'll give you sells, but they're really shitty sells, basically, you know what I mean? And on the other way, when you're on the way down, it'll give you really good sell indicators, but not so good buy indicators, if that makes sense. Because a lot of these indicators, specifically things like these, they're really, like I say, they're really good at, like, you know, if the market's doing this and then it goes like this, they'll give you a good indication at this sort of area that you know, it's probably a good time to buy. But when the market's kind of doing this sort of thing, they're not too great, man. They'll give you buy signals and sell signals like this. Like look here. Shit. We're pushing up here. It gives you a sell signal here. Do you know what I mean? So you've lost. You've obviously, it's fine because you're bought in up here. You're still in the profit. You know what I mean? But you've lost quite a good bit of profit there, because it's giving you, like, out of a move that was a 7% move, if you bought and sell where it tells you, you're getting a 2.5% move, which is still profit. You know what I mean? Definitely still profit. And I suppose, you know, it's better than winging it. But, like, in a situation like this, because of a strong uptrend, it's giving you a sell signal in a really shitty, because you don't want to sell as soon as this flips. You want to sell really on the candle completion after the flip. So if you was following this, you'd sell here, and then you'd buy back in here really, which is not shit. But if you didn't sell here and you was cut out the market completely, but you bought in here, that would have been a really good fucking buy. Do you know what I'm saying? Really good buy. Like, this is why, like, I will use the super trend when it comes to big moves. It's why I'll probably be using it. I'll probably be trading, obviously, off the bottom and off other trends, but I will probably use it quite heavily when this bottoms out. Obviously, we've got the buy signal on the hourly. We're looking to get a bit of retracement, but if we go to the 4 hourly, we've actually just broke into a buy on the 4 hourly now, but I feel like we're going to pull back out of it. But that's good though. That's good to see. If we can close this candle and still be in a buy signal here, I think there's a fucking room for more upside. Like, say, we could possibly see 52 to 55k maybe, and then a pullback. But yeah, and I think market cipher's similar. That, like, it'll probably give you really good buy signals, like here. Do you know what I mean? But I think, you know, when you're in a bit of these accumulation phases and, like, which I suppose it doesn't really matter. If you can make good buys on trends, it doesn't matter if you're fucking trading accumulation phases and volatile. Like, if you've been killing Bitcoin on the way up, you know, if you bought in here on a really good, like, decent leverage, decent margin, you've been fucking laughing, you know what I mean? You did the same here. You did the same earlier in the market. You wouldn't really necessarily be bothered about trading these ranges. You know what I mean? If you traded this really well, you know, from here to here, why'd you give a fuck about that? And if you traded from here to here, you don't really give a fuck about that either, do you? You know what I mean? So, yeah. I was having a little pop above the parapets to say, hello? Hello? Have we got a buy signal? No, not a buy signal on ADA just yet on the early. There's definitely going to be one on the 15-minute, isn't there? Yeah. See, like, these are definitely, these sort of signals are a little bit better on the 4 to 8 hour time frames as well, because obviously it gives you a buy here. Obviously, you're all good here now, but currently in that time, it was quite a bit of a sideways trading, you know what I mean? I definitely think this is better to be used on the hourly and 4 hourly, personally. Hourly, I use it as, okay, right, we're definitely in buying territory. You know, here, buying territory. But then I like to use the 4 hour as a little backup. But, like, that's why it's best not to go off them. That's why, like, I haven't really bothered with market cipher. You know, look, buy order on the 4 hour, buy order on the hourly would have been a good buy. You know what I mean? So, like, if ADA goes into, which it'll probably when I'm fucking out the house because I've got to go and pick Rosie up, it'll probably flash into a buy. Probably a good time to buy. You know, we're in the green on the 4 hourly still, and we're about to flash a buy on the hourly. Obviously, daily's probably still going to be green because, you know, we pulled back enough for it to give us a sell on the daily. But yeah, Bitcoin, we're getting flashing a buy on the 4 hourly. Obviously, we got a buy on the hourly. I think we're still on a sell in the daily, aren't we? Bitcoin actually did go into a daily sell signal. It's got a lot before it comes up on the buy on the daily, but you don't worry about that. But obviously, like I say, that's all just added in with the extra shit in it. You know what I mean? No point relying on that because it'll get you fucked in the end. It might work a good bunch of the times, but if you're not adding it up with other indicators as well, at the end of the day, you are kind of just relying on. Which, you know, some people do trade like that, man. Like, there's people like, you know, so at the end of the day, do what suits you, man. That's the best way to trade, you know what I mean? So, like, me telling you, like, I don't know, man, you can maybe do market cipher without market cipher. Hey, yo, if it works at the end of the day, if you spend fucking 500 quid or you spend $1,500 on market cipher for life, if you make that back in a year, you know, well, obviously, you want to make more than that, but if you make that back in a year, it's paid for itself, innit? You know what I mean? You got a cheeky short on Bitcoin, have you? Yeah, I ain't gonna put any trades in just yet. It might work out for you, that might, because like I say, I do think we are gonna see a retracement on Bitcoin. We've bounced out of that quite heavily, man, and I feel like we're running out of steam. But we have got a flash on the 4 hourly though, so that's it, man. That's the best thing to do, dude. That's why if you trade with like 5% of your futures margin, not 5% of your entire portfolio, you know, because if you've got fucking, you know, depending, some people might keep lots of fucking money on their exchanges, you know. Some people don't. Like, the good thing about Binance now, that if you do, you are covered. As long as it's not your fault. If it's your fault, then you're fucked. But if Binance get hacked, they'll cover you. Well, they say they will. So that's a good thing, like, for people who do keep lots of money on exchanges. I don't, but, you know. But yeah, man, if you only trade with like 5 to 10% of your futures account, you know, worst comes to worst, you get liquidated. You don't want to, but you get liquidated. And you've only put like a fucking small trade. You can get liquidated multiple times if you're rocking 5%. Obviously, that's not the aim, but you want to give yourself that room to maneuver. You don't want to be in the situation where you've liquidated once and you've lost 80% of your fucking you know what I mean? That's why I only ever trade with small amounts, and if I am going for risky trades, I pull out money out of my margin. So if it does get liquidated, you know, it's only a bit of a little bit of cash that's got liquidated. But that's why stop losses are your friend, guys. Because, you know, worst comes to worst, you got a good stop loss, you lose, I don't know, say 50% of the money that you put down. If you're only putting down like $20, you've lost a tenner, ain't you? $10, it's like, what, £6? Yeah. Spend that on a couple of beers, and at the end of the day, you just take it as well. Fuck, there's my beers for the weekend. Yeah, it does really look like Bitcoin is getting into a little bit of trouble now. Might see a little bit of a pattern reversal now and a pull back, which, like I say, would be perfect to fulfill a nice W pattern here. And we bottom out on the W and see some nice price reversal. And that would be perfect as well for you if you are shorting. I hope it does come down. And some decent volume this morning, though. Not too shabby at all, really. Yeah, man. Pretty much similar sort of story from across the market, in it. You know what I mean? Consolidation. Pretty much everything's breaking out of its consolidation period at the moment. It's just up to Bitcoin whether that consolidation period is over or not. You know, we go to this chart, which I did trace to our resistance and support. We've back tested on the wick there. So if we do come back down and test 48,743 and close above 78,43, 47,843, should I say? No, 48,743, should I say? Get it fucking out! That'll be good. That could see some movement to the upside, but, you know, gotta wait and see, innit? Hey, welcome back, dudes. Just down a little look. Ada's having a little a pop above the parapets. We are actually, obviously the candles, obviously not closed, but our daily candles not looking too shabby at all on Ada. Very, very bullish. Very bullish. I'll have to put down maybe a long moment at $1.37. Fuck all in there. Thought it was a little dribble. Yeah, I think if we can hit $1.37, I think we're going to go for a test of the all-time high. Personally, I think that will be the next move. Yeah, man. Everything, like I say, everything is pretty much doing the same thing. Consolidation period is ending with a little breakout. Whether we continue to the upside is questionable. It's all dependent on Bitcoin at the minute. Does it deny the 42k bounce? Or is it inevitable, guys? Do we come back to 42k for the bounce? Or possibly we come back down and this previous resistance now becomes support in the retracement and 44.3 becomes support? Either way, if we do, we'll be building ourselves a nice bullish W pattern, pushing ourselves into a sweet pattern actually there. If we bottom out on a nice W pattern, either way, if we go for 42k or we go for 44.3, that's bullish, man. You know what I mean? We should see some nice reversal there, man. do I use mark price or I limit order most of the time? It just depends. Like if the market's like being a little bit crazy, I'll mark it like buy, but I typically limit order. You know what I mean? Because the plan is, when it comes to me for my lungs, is I'm in a situation of like, right, okay, this pattern's filling. Like, I don't know, let's say like with Ada, like for me now, I'm waiting for like a break above this 34. And if it can break above 34 to 37, I'm gonna have a limit order set up for 37. I think 38. Because I think if we break that, we're gonna push for the all-time high, and then possibly continuation to the upside. We might get rejected off that all-time high, and then we might be building ourselves a cheeky fucking double top for more downside and consolidation possibly. But yeah, I typically like most of the time when I get wrecked on my shorts and longs is not fucking planning. Do you know what I'm saying? Like being like, right, okay, this looks like it's breaking out, long it now. Like I prefer to be in a situation of like, that's why I like to say I'm waiting for this price action on Bitcoin. If you do start to see this pull down, I'm going to be putting a long at 42k, and I'm going to be putting a long at 40, probably at 44. I'll probably put it bang on 44. So I can catch a long anywhere around that sort of price. I'll only have it at a low sort of leverage, just so I don't have to have a nearby stop loss. And then, you know, we can see what happens then. And then once that move starts to happen, I'll put probably some higher leverage trades into Ethereum and ADA, possibly. Actually, probably not ADA. I'll probably go for BNB. Because ADA will do its thing when Bitcoin's slow. So when Bitcoin's pumping, it won't necessarily make those drastic price movements. This will really explode when Bitcoin just kind of stops doing what it's doing right now and just settles down a little bit and really doesn't go any either way. Which is, I think, will happen when we bottom out. We'll probably have a little bit of a sit around for a few hours. It might give some of the altcoins a chance to break out, and then a nice. We want like I say, I want this pattern to pull it out, but I want it to play it in a nice steady action. Like I say, if it takes a few days to form this pattern, and you know we're at this sort of level in the next 4 days, I'm totally fine with that. You know, if this becomes a little bit more of a shallow bug out from that dip, I'm happy with that, and it'll be better for altcoins as well. Like we don't want Bitcoin just, you know what I mean? Because then altcoins will be like, fuck. What's going on? So yeah, I'll have some longs on the biddies at 42 and 44. I think that's where I'll be going long, because I think, you know, that'll just be, that's just a good price entry, man. I think that you know, if we wick below, maybe we'll wick down to like 38k. Might be a cheeky little call to maybe put one in at 38k, possibly if we do have a pull down and it's a bit drastic, we might have a little wick below. It's not, that won't be surprising at all if we do like close around 40 to 42k, but we wick down to 38. That's something that's really probable that could happen. So I might actually slap one in at 38k as well. Just for the bants, like, and you know, because I did it with fucking ETH and it fucking played out perfectly. It wicked right down, but then ETH just carried on a little bit too far. So yeah, I ended up getting stopped out on that one, but it wasn't a big trade. It was only a really little trade, but it played out. You know what I mean? It played out. I think I put that trade in at 1440. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, man. I'm going to have 42, 44, and 38. I think I'm going to have longs on Bitcoin ready to go. ADA, like I say, I'm going to wait for this breakout, and I'll probably be longing ADA. That's if we get this breakout. I do still think we're going to see more downside on ADA at the minute. We are kind of getting rejected locally at this sort of level, which is giving us a little local double top. So like I say, I really wouldn't be surprised if we see $1.16 on ADA. Maybe we don't, and we just come down to $1.20, and we find support on this trend line. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And then an attempted continuation. But I think maybe we see a pullback down to $1.16, $1.17, $1.17 to $1.15 area. Good level of support. We've got previous resistance here. It's a previous top. Makes sense that that'd be a level of support. It's give us multiple levels of support and resistance prior to that. So, you know, and that when we had that last real savage pullback, we bottomed out right at that $1.15 level. So I think that's where we might come back to. We're having a decent pullback here as well now. It's getting rejected a little bit. But yeah, little bit of a, you know, I don't want to say nothing happening because we're definitely seeing, you know, we're seeing 20% pushes to the upside, but we're basically, like I say, we're trying to break out to consolidation, which I don't necessarily think we're doing right now, but definitely tradable moves, guys. You know, like I say, if we do push back down here, Turntable might have picked a nice little short there. Same thing's going to happen with Eve. Same thing's going to happen with pretty much everything else. I wouldn't like to say that Ada's going to do that because the last few days, Ada's just been like, fuck the rest of the market. I'm doing my own thing. So I do think we got consolidation, but I don't think it's going to be dependent on what Bitcoin, unless Bitcoin dumps. Ada's kind of, I think, probably for the next few days, just going to do its own thing. There's a lot of hype around Ada at the minute, isn't that? There's a lot of fucking volume. You know what I mean? Look at the fucking volume. Just the last couple of weeks, man. Since the start of February, since the start of the year, volume's been insane. But we consistently, you know, we've been having these spikes and pumps, but if you look consistently, the lower levels of volume here now are consistently higher. Do you know what I'm saying? So we are having these wild volume spikes, but the lower end of the volume is coming up and up and up. So, you know, plenty of volume in ADA at the minute. So, like I say, if we do have a correction, when we do finally come out of this corrective move for ADA, I think it's going to be fucking fast. It's going to be like, you know, it's going to be quick, man. It's going to be one of them moves where, like, you know, maybe we pull back to this $1.15 and then within a couple of hours we're back up to a fucking $1.50 because we've seen how quick ADA can do that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see, you know, a 25% swing in a couple of hours. So definitely keep your eye on ADA, of course. Keep your eye on Biddy. Waiting for my pattern to play out. What I said, the little W pattern here, and then continuation to the upside. And we'll see how things go, guys. I will be back. Yeah, I'm going to get back on tonight, dude. I've got to just shoot somewhere on the way to pick Rosie up. And I'll be back this evening, probably around about 7 p.m-ish, 7:30. UK time. So thank you everybody for hanging out, guys. I really do appreciate it. Remember as well, if you haven't already, drop a like on the stream. Let me know you want me to continue doing more of these kind of streams. If you enjoy them, appreciate that. You know, even if you're just finding a little bit of information, even from me, you know, like I says, I'm a fucking idiot, but you know, if you can come out the stream thinking, oh, I learned something, or I'm going to apply that, and if it works, let me know, man. Let me know if any of the stuff that I ever say you apply like yourself, and it works for you as well. Because that's always good to know. But I'm sure a lot of you guys are just as savvy. But guys, appreciate ya. Thank you very much. Love your faces. Remember, if you haven't already, drink your water. Whether it's the morning, the afternoon, the evening, or the night where you are, stay safe and have fun. And I'll catch you later, guys. All right? Bye-bye now.